linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports.
What is up, guys? How are y'all doing? So, gonna go with this song, this theme.
VonAllen Sports.
I think we're gonna go with that a lot more in the future. I'm really starting to like it. But it's a segment from the opening of Excalibur. So hang on, let me adjust this here. It's weird. Lighting's weird tonight. Higa Oka Shakazolo. Anyway, sorry guys, I was possessed like about 7 days ago, and every once in a while the demon comes out and I can't stop it. So yeah, I don't know what that was all about. Anyway, yeah, it looks like that's the best I'm gonna get it. Let me see. Come here. I'm gonna break this stupid thing. Yeah, well, my hair, because my hair is like blonde brown color. It's like freaking out in the thing here. Okay, these damn lights. I hate having to wear these guys because I know you guys like seeing my eyes probably, but just for a few minutes I want to wear these. Okay, so how you guys doing, man? Seriously. So I am actually really excited about this Super Bowl, and the reason is because I'm approaching this from a football fan perspective, and just strictly no interest as far as like I'm talking just the game itself. I have personal rooting interest for other reasons, but as far as just watching, I'm excited because I think if the refs stay out of this game, they just stay away from it and don't start making it rain for the Chiefs. I think we're going to have one of the most exciting Super Bowls we've had in a long time. And I think it's going to be one of those where it's going back and forth, boom, boom. Last year's Super Bowl was garbage. It was boring. Every metric said that the Rams should have lost that. And we all know what happened at the very end, where they gave Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp like a million chances to score, and eventually you're going to score if you're going to give them a million chances. But everything to any football person would understand that Super Bowl, had there have been no intervention, was going the Bengals' way. Okay, I can't guarantee that they would have won. I'm just saying though that it was going in their direction. But whatever. The year before that, although I enjoyed watching Tom Brady and his team destroy and completely embarrass the Kansas City Chiefs, the game was over at the end of the second quarter, and you could see that. You could see that it's just not the Chiefs' day, and you could see that they weren't coming back from it. And although I enjoyed that from a Tom Brady's fan perspective, the actual watchability of the game kind of started going away if you know anything about football. Now, if you don't know a lot about football, then maybe you were okay with like how it was going, but I don't know. I just wasn't impressed by the Chiefs' performance that night. So as far as like a game standpoint, the year before that, Chiefs and 49ers, that game was kind of weird too. It was kind of blah. You could take it or leave it, right? The year before that was, again, that was Patriots-Rams. Nerve-wracking game, probably one of the most, I'd have to say one of the more stressful Super Bowls. And not stressful in a good way, not stressful in like things are happening. Like the Carolina Panthers, Patriots Super Bowl 38 was stressful, but in a good way, a fun way, The end was just back and forth, but it was so exciting. It was happening so fast that you didn't really have time to think. The Rams-Patriots, the second one, Super Bowl 53, you couldn't score. And it got to a certain point where it was just frustrating. And you knew that even a field goal was going to win, could make a win or lose this Super Bowl, right? And you just knew it could be happen any second. It was stressful for different reasons. It wasn't exactly a fun Super Bowl. Now, the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl was interesting. It was interesting. It was albeit stressful, but it was at least watchability. So if you rewatch the game, it's a exciting game, from a spectator perspective. And of course, before that, it's Super Bowl 51, the greatest Super Bowl of all time, probably. Before that was kind of a boring Broncos and Carolina Panthers and Super Bowl 50. But the one before that is my favorite Super Bowl probably of all time, which is Super Bowl 49. And that was amazing. But the point I'm getting at is that it's been a while since we've had a game just from the play on the field and the back and forth and all that, just from watching it. This one has the potential to be a great game if the refs stay out of it. These refs think that they're celebrities and they want to be part of the action, and they want to be seen on TV, and they want their whole families watching them, and they want to be on camera, and they want to be shown throwing a flag. So you got the side judge who's not making much money, or the back judge, or some random guy that nobody really knows about, and this is his time to shine, and he's going to throw a flag because he wants everyone to see him. If he doesn't throw a flag, nobody knows he exists and nobody sees him. Okay? And if you don't think that they don't do stuff like this, you're kidding yourself. Okay? They're people, and people will do what people do. So that's just how it is. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about regarding this game tomorrow, and some more things about the Brady retirement, and also we have some things I want to address regarding Patrick Mahomes' interview during Super Bowl week, during the media week, and some other stupid things that people have said. But for right now, I'm just going to see how you guys are doing. I expected. Now, I'm broadcasting this on different platforms, so there may be less viewers on YouTube tonight because people may be watching it on that normally would come here, because this was only the place I was streaming it. They could be watching on Twitter and Facebook and whatever. I'm simulcasting. I'm trying it out. Let's just see if it picks up any extra, followers or viewers or whatever, right? So, okay. So what do we have here? Bloody Pleb, what's up, man? Tiffany, hey, Tiffany. Israel, John Thomas Chavez, Sierra Chubbs, formerly known as Sissy Chubbs. The Gourd King. You're cold, man. You're ice cold. You're not going to give the Falcons any room to just at least get some sympathy from people, right? Tyler Belcher, message retracted. 146 Zigzag, what's up? Anthony Nefertiti. Unicorn Extreme GT. What's up? Some random Patriots fan. How you doing, man? Okay. The Falcons handed Brady his first losing season. Cockville? Oh, wait. They don't know what that means. What? If you don't sit Tom Brady, they win that game easily. I don't know. But I guess technically you're right. Okay. So just to get something out of the way real quick before we get started, you're probably wondering, why is there no super chat button? Okay. So, we got demonetized basically, and it was something ridiculous. I mean, what I think is ridiculous as far as being demonetized is basically, I think, too harsh of what, supposedly what I did wrong, or what I did do wrong. I shouldn't say supposedly. I did do it wrong technically, but I think immediately demonetization was too harsh. I don't know why a warning, a heads up, wouldn't have sufficed. I would have had the same reaction as I'm going to have in response to this, but I don't go a while without any income at all, and it's weird. It's not good business practice as far as I'm concerned, because YouTube gets part of my super chats, and now I don't get them, and it just doesn't sound like good business. And it sounds like stopping the monetization was kind of petty. I don't know. I can't figure that part out of it. It doesn't matter. Point is it happened. 2 shows ago, I think it was 2 shows ago, I streamed a video, Damar Hamlin talking about, his situation and wishing whatever, blah, 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 right? And I streamed that like a lot of people, but something weird happened in the system. YouTube algorithm gave me credit for it. And apparently what happened is that when you stream something and you're the first to technically get it up there, it does something weird where it like tags it as breaking news. And if you're the first, it thinks that you're the source. So I technically I streamed it live before the Bills or anybody else apparently put it in there, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe streaming it live on the first day is different than putting up an upload. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that's just kind of... Anyway, the point is that it started giving me royalties from other places of people who uploaded that Damar Hamlin video when it's not mine. And I didn't even care about the Damar Hamlin video, nor did I care about Damar Hamlin, and had zero interest in this subject, actually, which is the ironic part. It's not like I uploaded. It's not like I'm getting in trouble for uploading Tom's retirement video or something, which, okay, fine. But this was something that I didn't give a flying shit about at all. And so anyway, so that triggered a human audit of the channel, okay? So when they did that, someone actually looked at my channel, and what they saw was a lot of shorts that I had been uploading. And these shorts have been like either news shorts or articles or quotes from, different places, and then me putting them on there thinking that they're relevant to show, like Joe Montana talking about the John Candy situation, or the some are funny, like the woman calling the 49ers 69ers and stuff like that. So they saw that, didn't investigate anything else to see that this channel is actually about the live show and about the documentaries, and the shorts are just something. It was just a small, goofy thing that I was doing for fun because they're easy to make. The problem is that the rules for the shorts are a bit different. And even though the algorithm was not telling me that I wasn't doing anything wrong, because it tells you, if you upload a video, okay, and you use somebody's music, let's say, or if you use somebody's highlights, like the NFL or whatever, the computer, whatever you want to call it, the AI in the YouTube system will mark it and say, oh, you're using someone's that. Would you like to continue using it, blah, blah, whatever, if you want to, but they're going to get a cut of your ad revenue. Just the advertising revenue. That's fine. Okay, no problem. Cool. Well, it never fails normally, but with the shorts, it wasn't doing that. And the shorts weren't monetized, okay? But they started monetizing shorts on February 1st. And I didn't really read the updated rules for this. And again, that's my fault. And so their problem with me is that I did not interject myself into those videos. So basically what I should have been doing under their rules as of February 1st was, like, if I posted the video of the girl singing 69ers instead of 49ers, I needed to be in the video. I needed to be critiquing it. Then I could show a clip, and then I could come back and then talk about it. Okay, that's different. So that's me, creating a new video of something else. But just taking it exactly in its original form and then just posting it like that is not cool. Okay, so technically I did do it, and I did break the rules. So I'm not whining about it. I'm not complaining about it. It's fine. I'll fix it, and we'll get it back. Okay, so it's okay. My only issue is that I just thought that getting cut off was a bit harsh. I especially with the new rules and the new monetization coming in just as recently as a few days ago. When it actually happened, it was only a few days before that. I admit I really didn't read the fine print and the rules of it. Okay, and I broke them. So there it is. But I just think it was a bit harsh. I think that a warning would have been perfectly fine. Now, if this was like 6 months down the road and everyone is aware of how the monetization on shorts work, okay, I mean, it makes sense. But this just happened, and it's my fault as a channel creator, the channel owner. It's my job to read the rules, know my limits, know what I can and can't do, and that's it. So this isn't a Pat McAfee thing where the NFL wants their money because he keeps using their stuff and he whines about it. Okay, that's not one of these things. All right, I'm not a whiner, first of all. So it is what it is. I hate that saying, but this literally is. It fits that. But that's what's going on. I just wanted to tell you guys because I never actually really explained it because I was trying to get it fixed. So, but yeah, it should be fine. It should be remedied probably in about a month, I would say. So what this means, though, is that the Super Chat contest is frozen right now. So because you guys didn't have a chance to move up in the ranks on purpose, knowing that the contest was ending. So that's unfair to just call it like that. So when monetization comes back, we will have a final episode for that season. So just to kind of explain that a bit better, right now we're in season 4 of VAS Live. So season 1, for example, was the 2019 season, season 2, 2020, and so on. So this is season 4. Season 4 normally would end with a reaction show to the Super Bowl on like Tuesday, for example. And that's when season 4 would normally end. That's how we've done it the last 3 previous years. But now the final episode won't take place until monetization comes back, which will probably be in mid-March or something like that, right? So that will be the final episode, and I'll tell you guys it's coming, and then you'll be able to join the Super Chat contest and figure out what place you want to be in and all that. And then we'll close out season 4. And then season 5 will start up with the draft. So I always take a break between that time. So between the final episode and the draft, and then will be a break from doing the live show. Doesn't mean there's a break from upload videos and documentaries and things like that. But season 5 will begin with the draft, which we always do a live draft show. But anyway, so that's the thing. That's the deal. So you guys were wondering what's going on. So, okay. Tell you this much. From now on, I'm going to read the fine print, all of it. So it's just, I was relying too much on the AI kind of telling me what was okay and what wasn't okay. So now, one thing they didn't forget to do is that I still got a bill. I got a bill the other day for ads, for Google ads. And so they don't mind charging the channel money, but they don't like giving the channel money. It's weird. I'm just wondering how that works exactly. So it's always one direction, but yeah. But anyway. Okay. Yeah, and there seems to be some kind of weird rules with live streams and not live streams. So if I didn't stream the Damar Hamlin video, then no, there would have not been a human audit of my channel. And human audits actually don't happen very often. It's very rare to get one because there's so many channels and there's only so many people that work at YouTube that understand the rules and actually have that kind of power and control to do something like that. So that stupid mother effing video triggered it. And I may have gone 10 years without an audit if I hadn't done that. So like I said, it'd been worth it if it was Brady's retirement video or something, but a fucking video that I don't care about. I couldn't give two shits about the Damar Hamlin situation. Just could not care at all. I mean, what I mean is I'm happy he's okay, but not enough to stream it or even... It just sucks that it happened on something like that and not something Brady related, which is something that matters. So, okay. So there it is. I'm not going to be talking about that anymore. No. Oh, okay. I just want to answer these questions real quick though. No censorship. It's nothing like that. They haven't messed with me or anything like that. It wasn't NFL footage. NFL lets you use their stuff. They just take your ad revenue, which is if you're needing to do a documentary or something that involves a lot of it, that's a fair trade, I think. I mean, I appreciate that the NFL lets us do that. Could you imagine if the NFL tomorrow decided that they won't let any of us use their stuff, even for them to monetize their stuff? Just they said no. It'd be very hard to make interesting documentaries about football without some footage, without some interviews, without, stuff that belongs to them. So the NFL may be a greedy, large organization like any other corporation, but there are things that they could do that could really screw things up for us. So, and they don't do that, which is thankful. And there are companies that do screw things up for us. HBO won't let you use their stuff, even for a clip. Okay, unless it's done from a journalist perspective. Fox Sports, oh my God, they're very difficult. They're very difficult. Like if you go over a certain time limit, they might not even let you use it at all. They'll just block your video worldwide. If there's several other companies that are kind of weird. Showtime and Paramount is weird, and that's bad because they have the great show inside the NFL, which I would love to take clips of inside the NFL and post them for you guys. But it's not easy to do because Paramount is so stingy about it. So it sucks, but no. But the NFL doesn't do that to us, and I think that's cool. So I'm happy to turn over, some ad revenue if they want that in exchange for a great documentary. Like when you watch Montana versus Brady documentary, there's tons of advertising in that. That's not me. I don't have any control over that. That NFL monetized that, and they put all of those advertisements in there, and they keep 100% of the money. But that's fine because I couldn't have made that documentary the way it was without the NFL allowing me to do that. So it's a great trade-off, And it's a working relationship, is the way I see it. I use their shit. By using their shit, I get subscribers. I get to talk about my stuff that I want to talk about, and they get paid. Okay, cool. So that's fine. And again, this is why I thought that YouTube probably should have just given me a warning and not a completely abrupt everything that I'm doing and making it difficult. So, but whatever. So I'll get it fixed. Because I don't even care about those shorts, honestly. I was just doing that for fun. It's a new cool thing that I was trying out. But that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about this live show and documentaries. And that's what we've always been. So. Yeah, Tiffany, if the refs stay out of it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so enough of that. I'm just trying to catch up here. Give me a second. Oh, Gorkin, congrats. Yeah, you need 800, right? I think it's 1,000 to be monetized. That's That's awesome, man. Keep it up. We need to play a game together. We need to stream a game together, by the way. Let's see here. I want to start doing some stuff through VonAllen History channel also. And I thought it'd be cool maybe to, what do you think, Milena, play Assassin's Creed, you know, for VonAllen History channel? I think that'd be badass, right? So people have been trying to get me to play Madden on this channel for years. And I never got around to it. I don't know. It seems to be something people like. I still don't know the point of it. I guess I don't understand why people spend so much time watching someone play a video game for hours and hours and hours, and they do that all the time. I guess you'd have to like really like the video game. But you know how difficult it would be to be interesting and give interesting commentary for 5 hours while you're playing Madden? I mean, I don't know. It might be cool. I might find that I really like it. So. Oh, Bloody Pleb, you know about Mike Montana, huh? I think he changed his name. I think his name is now Goat 16 or something like that. Yeah, because I used to make fun of him. That, you know, it sounded like he was married to Joe. You know, it's like me having a screen name, you know, it says Æron Brady. I think that's creepy. That's very creepy, actually. So. Halftime show, I have not watched a halftime show since Prince. Prince was the last time I sat down and actually watched it, I think. Yeah. Now, Prince is the last time I did, but I did watch a little bit of the Lady Gaga halftime show. I caught the end of it during Super Bowl 51 because for most of that episode, I was taking heavy comments on Facebook. This is pre-VonAllen Sports days. But I still had my personal Facebook page, and I was getting killed in the comment section. Everyone telling me how the Falcons are going to win, Patriots are getting blown out, Brady sucks, he threw a pick six, all this, blah, 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 blah. So I've spent most of the halftime show, but I did catch the end of Lady Gaga when I think it was her last song or whatever, and she jumped and caught the football and all that. But I don't really pay attention to halftime shows that much. That's more a time for me to talk to other people about whatever, you know, like that's like a break for me too. I consider that a halftime for me, you know, so how it is, I guess. But there's certain artists that I will make a point to watch. Okay. So they say, oh, Prince is performing. Well, I'm going to watch that. Okay. Who's not going to watch that? When Janet Jackson performed with Justin Timberlake, the famous wardrobe malfunction, I watched that one. And Michael Jackson, of course, the Cowboys Bills, the first one. Yeah, that's probably those are the type that you would watch, you know, and like you can't miss it kind of thing. So I insulted your childhood? Oh, he's referring to when I said watching someone play a video game for 5 hours. It's not an insult. I don't understand how to achieve that. That's all. So, Gord King says, "Hey, don't knock people watching video games. I need those people." Well, I thought your channel was reviews and stuff like that. But again, like I said, I'll try it eventually. So, and then I'll probably find out what the fuss is about. Yeah, yeah. Milena just said me and the red coat. We were talking about doing Halo, playing Halo, and stuff like that. This was long time years ago. So we never got it going. But there's only so much time in the day, I guess. So, I mean, I have to have time for my trips to the pet psychiatrist. You know, I got to take my 3 cats. They have a psychiatrist that they meet up 4 times a week. I have Pilates class 5 times a week.
Sure.
What's so funny?
Pilates.
I take a course on a cooking course where we specialize in almond butter and pistachio cream.
What about the knitting?
No, knitting is a thing of the past. We don't do that here. On usually the reason I don't have shows on Thursdays is because I go to an activist club where we get reports on what we're going to be outraged about next week, things like that. So I have a busy schedule and a busy life here in West Hollywood, California. I don't know why you're laughing so much. You go with me.
Sure.
In fact, I have a red carpet event next week.
Well, that is great.
Okay. Steve Wisser, what's up, man? If you had to guess the coin flip, what's up, TBA Theory? The coin flip, I always go heads. I mean, who doesn't like heads? What are you laughing about? Although you could be a tails guy. I actually am a tails guy. So.
Like Brady.
I did not say that. I said heads. You perverts. My dad is watching this, I think. Yeah, Steve, it's just temporary. It's just a little mishap with YouTube. So it should be back that next month. I explained it all at the beginning of this, so after the show, if you want to watch the first part, if you want to know more details about what's going on. Yeah, some random Patriots fans, right. Matthew Slater always calls it right. I'd sign that guy just to call the coin tosses for me. Yeah. So, okay. So let's get talking football. So, I am not one of these Anthony Preston. Yes, I've managed to embarrass my father since I was a kid. So, it's now I've found a way to torment him by embarrassing him on public YouTube video viewing for the world to see. You're welcome, Dad. So, yeah. What was I saying? What was I going to say? Oh, the over and under on State Farm ads? There's going to be... Well, they're very expensive. So... Two is the over under. Under 2. So one big one and one small one is what I'll go with. So 1.5. Let's say 1.5. Yeah. The Burger King ad. I wish somebody who would track down, put it like a mercenary or out on the people who came up with that one. So it's the most obnoxious advertisement that's ever been invented. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Super Bowl 57. Right. I remember what I was going to say. So I am not like these douchebag TV analysts who, like Nick Wright, Nick Wrong, and how he's got a job, I have no idea. He's got to be related to somebody. Honestly, he's got to be related to somebody. It's impossible. He might be the ugliest human on earth right now. He might be. Okay? He might be the ugliest person I've ever seen. And I'm sorry, but when it comes to television, you have to have some kind of, you don't have to be perfect looking at, that's not what I mean, but you've got to have some presentability. I mean, you can even be a big, weird looking dude or whatever, but you've got some kind of, charisma or, something like that. So nice string hanging from a brand new jacket. But I'm not like them. They never admit when they're wrong, and they pretend like they know everything, and they talk like they know everything, and they're wrong more than anybody's ever been wrong other than a politician. Although that may not be just politicians being wrong, that may be them just lying on purpose. But still, I was wrong about the Eagles. Okay? Absolutely wrong. I have been since week 3 or week 4. I have been saying that they're pretenders. I don't like the way they play. They're going to be exposed, blah, 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 this and that. And every single week, they continue to find a way to win somehow. It doesn't matter how, they just win. It's like, we don't care in what manner you win. Win is a win. And doesn't know how flashy the victory was. So the record books and people in general don't know the difference between a boring Super Bowl win or a flashy Super Bowl win, and unless it's very, very special, like the Super Bowl 51 or something like that. But the difference between Ben Roethlisberger's Super Bowl victory, which was garbage, well, both of them are pretty bad, but versus a exciting Super Bowl or whatever, they have the same weight. You still get a ring, you still get into the Hall of Fame if you've got a few of them, blah, 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 right? So they've been winning, and they've gotten the job done. I was wrong about them. And the reason I'm saying I'm wrong about them is because this week I have taken a deep dive into them. I will admit I did not do my due diligence on the Eagles like I normally should, or like I should, or and like I normally would. But I am an AFC-centric person. That's obvious and can't be helped. It's just natural. I'm a Patriots fan, and before the Patriots got Drew Bledsoe, I was a big Houston Oilers fan. So I've always been AFC focused, and so my interests gravitate towards AFC teams for the most part, and that's just something that happens, and I can't help it. So, for example, I know all about the Chiefs, and I've known all about the Chiefs all year in this version of them, and I've kept up with that because that was important to me. The Eagles, it was someone that I didn't think would ever have any kind of connection or effect on Brady, and Brady's situation was so bad, and the coaching was so awful that it didn't seem like it mattered anyway. So, to make a long story short, I just neglected to take a look at the Eagles like I should have. Most of my opinion about the Eagles was through watching on TV live during a game, but no follow-up, no going back and really looking into what they do and who they are and how they play and things like that. So I did that this week, and the dismissal of the Eagles might be one of my worst takes of all time. So, and trust me, that's not something I'm proud of or want to say or want to admit, because I am not a big Eagles fan. It's just, you know, I'm an AFC guy, like I said, which means that if the Patriots are not in the Super Bowl, I normally default to the AFC team, because you still want one of your own to win, right? And I know a lot of people don't believe that. They don't like for example, when Peyton would beat the Patriots and take out Tom Brady, whatever, in the AFC Championship, people wanted to see Peyton lose, or want to see the Colts or the Broncos lose. And why? You know, I never understood that. If you do lose in the playoffs, you want to lose to the eventual Super Bowl champions. It's very hard and very difficult to deal with losing the AFC Championship game to the Broncos, for example, in 2013. And then 2 weeks later, they get their ass annihilated by the Seattle Seahawks. Knowing that if that was your team, the situation might be different, a lot different. Okay? And that sucks. That sucks. But had they gone and won, then you can say, hey, we lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions. Even if you're not one of those AFC, NFC guys, you could still say our team lost to the eventual champions. And that's nothing to be ashamed of, right? So normally, I would be doing that with the Chiefs. But there's a problem. There's a big problem. Unlike what I'm doing, admitting when I'm wrong, these people don't. And not only do they not do that, they go over the top and they can say the stupidest shit ever, and nobody ever gets onto them for it. And they never get held accountable. I think these shows, honestly, these big shows, if they had any integrity at all, they would have a end of the week segment where they just get completely destroyed by their stupid takes. Okay? The problem with them doing that is that they would lose any credibility, that even the little credibility they have. And they do have some, because people still watch and people still, go by what they say. I know, it's amazing. But we're also living in a country where a big portion of the population still thinks that politicians are on their side. So, and they think the media is real, and they think what the media and the news says is true. So that's the way it is. And so they're not going to do that for transparency reasons or whatever. But we're a small show, so I don't have to do a segment like that, really. I just admit it on there. And if Eagles fans want to make fun of me, go for it. Milena, do you remember what I did? What was it, 2 years ago? Where I said, I made several videos. It was the week of the Titans-Chiefs AFC Championship game. I think in 2019, right? 2019 season. And I made all these videos about how the Titans were just going to completely destroy the Chiefs. Chiefs won, obviously. That week, I set up a live show, and the entire live show, and I advertised it that week, talked about it that week, and hyped it, letting Chiefs fans know that they can come on the show, and they can call the show, and they can give me crap. Okay? I gave them a microphone to say how whatever they wanted to. I'm an idiot. I made a bad pick. That was all stupid. They had the chance to do that. Few Chiefs fans called in. A lot of them stayed in the chat and just talked junk, and that's completely fine. Fair enough. I deserve that. Could you imagine Chris Sims or Nick Wright or Shannon Sharp or somebody having to sit there on a live broadcast while the fans of, let's say, Tom Brady or some other team that they disrespected just lets them have it? Could you imagine them sitting for that? And that's what I was willing to do. Why? Because I made a dumb take. So it was stupid and lazy on my part that I did not give the Eagles the due diligence that I should have. So that does. Wait, what? Oh, God. So they're promoting that this is the first Super Bowl where two black quarterbacks are playing each other.
Oh, come on.
This stuff has to stop, honestly. It's degrading. It's embarrassing. It's ridiculous.
About football, not college.
Remember when Warren Moon went into the Hall of Fame and he said, if you're inducting me because I'm a black quarterback and you want me to be your token black guy, black quarterback I don't want it. Okay? What the hell does that have to do with anything? I want to know. I don't. Okay, whatever. You mentioned that. You reminded me. I did see an article about that. I don't know what the relevance is for that. It doesn't make sense. And I don't know what does that matter. Is that see? You know what that comes off as? It's like, oh, good job for achieving this or whatever. Like, doesn't it seem condescending a bit, Milena?
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem kind of degrading? And that's, I don't know. I just see Jalen Hurts as a great player who is having a freaking amazing year. Okay. And I see Mahomes, who had a phenomenal year and should have been unanimous MVP. I don't know what else. What does that have to do with anything else? I mean, it's just, maybe we shouldn't get into that right now. But so stupid. Luke, I'm the same way. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it until someone sent me the article, and I was like, oh, God. It didn't even occur to me.
Not to mention when it's halfway.
Well, what do you do with that exactly? Milena just said Patrick is half white. So what do you do with that? Which, do you just dismiss that? Or, like, how does it work? Is this like a cake that we're cutting up? Is it a pizza? Like, half pizza, you know how you order from Pizza Hut, half of it's pepperoni and the other half is like vegan or something? Like, which side, which half is why Patrick Mahomes is such a great player? Just wondering. Or what side is playing Jalen Hurts? His black side or his white side? Because his mom's white. His dad's black. I don't know. I'm just curious. I can't. It's very difficult. So. Weird. So.
Not in the year 2023.
And it's 20. Yes, people. It's 2023, and we're talking about two black quarterbacks being in the Super Bowl as if they just passed the Civil Rights Act. Jesus Christ. Whatever. Okay. So, without all that bullshit, we can actually talk about football. So one thing I posted on Twitter is, and I'm going to show you this. I got to get snappy here. Okay. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. So I said, congrats to Patrick Mahomes on winning MVP. My only confusion is how did he not get unanimous? I mean, the voters over the years, now there's some sarcasm to this. So the voters over the years have made it clear it's a stat and record award, not an actual discussion of who is most important to their team. And that's what we know it to be. That's how they vote on it. So how did he not get all 50? Well, they had the same record. They both had the number one seed. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts here. But Jalen Hurts missed 2 games. Patrick is quite a bit ahead in nearly everything. Even if you combine touchdowns together, Patrick's got like 10 more touchdowns total than he does. Patrick went for over 5,000 yards passing, 130 more completions. That's a lot of throwing, guys. It's a lot of 648 attempts versus 460. Yeah. If you look at that, the interception ratio is not that much different. More attempts, more likely you're going to throw picks. That's just basic math and odds. So, yeah. I don't see, I mean, if you're just going for quarterback only, which is what this is, why Josh Allen got a vote, I'm not sure what the angle was for that. But, yeah. So as Patrick Mahomes got 48 votes, 48 first place votes. Jalen Hurts got 1, and Josh Allen got 1. And then there's a whole mess load of players that got, like second, third, fourth, fifth votes, and then that's called a voting points, and which honestly, and a vote share, which doesn't really mean much. What all that matters really is the first place votes, if you got those. So really, this was between Mahomes, Hurts, and Josh Allen. They're the only ones who got a first place vote. But based on their way of doing things, based on how they have always consistently seen it, I don't know how you don't give Mahomes all 50. No, I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying that I'm just curious because based on how they've done things in the past, I can't figure it out too much. It's very strange. And again, there's some sarcasm here, okay? Tom Brady should have been the MVP last year. I still will argue that. Till the day I die, I will argue that Tom Brady was MVP last year. Don't know what the hard-on is for less interceptions. It's not like Tom threw 22 interceptions or something, okay? But if you're not taking risk, you're not leading your team, you're not doing those things. Aaron Rodgers literally played the season for those stats. He did not try to go out there, and that's what I'm saying about this MVP thing. There needs to be a discussion. There needs to be things that are considered not just stats, okay? Although Tom had all the stats anyway. The only thing that was messing him up compared to Aaron as far as they're concerned was the interception difference, right? But there has to be conversations about, I hate this word, but the intangibles, the things that you can't put on a stat sheet. And otherwise, we need to change the award's name. We need to change it to the QB award, the QB statistical award, or whatever the hell you want to call it. So, I don't know. It's just, I can't keep up with these people. So, again, like I'm saying, if you base it on their idiotic viewpoints and how they do things and how they, then based off that, Mahomes should have been unanimous, right? Right? Based on their stuff. It's weird. Like, why was Why was Josh Allen inserted in there? I don't know. Like, what was that about? I mean, was that somebody who works in the Buffalo media marketplace or something? I mean, if that's the case, then that means there's bias and they should be kicked off the voting. So are they consistent or are they not? Are they going to be, is that what they do or is that, I don't know. So whatever, who cares? But I think it's a shame that Tom only got 10 votes last year. Oh, I say only 10, that's a lot. That's still a lot for second place, But the fact that he wasn't MVP has got to be just BDS or something. I don't know. So, but Green Bay got the number 1 seed. Who gives a shit? They had the same record. Okay? Who cares? It's just this. Tom Brady's stats were so much better and so much more valuable as far as just every metric, literally. If you just put it all in a pot together, making that number 1 seed not as heavy, in my opinion. So, but whatever. Last 2 unanimous MVPs were what? Lamar Jackson in 2019, and then Tom Brady in 2010. I still don't understand how Tom wasn't unanimous MVP in 2007 and how Peyton Manning wasn't unanimous MVP in 2013. That one, those two confuse me. So, and not the California version of confusion, but just actually just regular confusion. I'm making some underrated jokes tonight. Okay, so I wrote this. I just want to explain myself, okay? So I wrote this on Twitter. I said, can Chiefs fans tell us now what excuses the Chiefs will have in the event that they lose, or the excuses they can brag about in the event that they win? I don't want a repeat of everyone picking Mahomes to destroy the old-ass Tom Brady, but after getting completely destroyed, said, he has no O-line. Yeah. I want to be clear. I want to be up to date on the Chiefs Kingdom excuses. I'm sorry, Chiefs Kingdom excuses. No, I meant that. Chiefs Kingdom excuses. To be clear, you can't claim Mahomes' ankle injury if you're still picking the Chiefs to win, right? That doesn't make any sense. Just like you can't say anything about his O-line in 2020 if you also pick the Chiefs to beat the Bucs. Right? Now, Tom had a torn MCL that season and won that Super Bowl. Okay? Nobody ever talks about it. And Brady fans don't talk about it. Do you know why? Because we don't give a shit. Everyone is injured. Okay? Everyone has something wrong with them. And as Patriots fans, as Brady fans, we've been conditioned to not make excuses. Just a loss is a loss, a win is a win. That's just the way it is, okay? And injuries happen. People are banged up at the end of the year. If you make it, if your team is great enough to be in the Super Bowl at the end, and that means you've played a lot of games. It means that you've went through a lot of crap. You're going to be injured. You're going to be messed up. And the great ones find a way around that. And I'm not just talking about quarterbacks. I'm talking about every position and coaching. You find a way. Andy Reid couldn't find a way out of his O-line predicament. Sorry, but that's just what happened. But where was the excuse for his defense, who Tom Brady was just completely just toying with? I mean, it was a joke. So, no. Here's what happened in that Super Bowl. It wasn't even O-line, okay? That could have been fixed. That could have been remedied by Patrick knowing how to throw the ball from the pocket and reading the defense, being patient, taking what is given to him. If he had done those things, I'm not saying they would have won. I'm just saying it would have been not as ridiculous. It would not have been such a blowout. But Patrick was all about Patrick in that Super Bowl. And he knew everyone was watching him, and everyone is expecting him to do great things. He is this NFL's version of LeBron James, okay? It's I'm trying to do everything on my own because everyone's expecting me to pass Tom Brady, just like everyone's expecting LeBron James to pass Jordan. It's ridiculous, okay? It's like, can you at least get past some other guys before you start targeting the greatest player ever? Are you kidding me? This is stupid, all right? So there's always something. There's always something wrong, and you've got to overcome that. That's part of winning the Super Bowl, is that you were the team that overcame all of that crap and won. That's it. That's the deal. Every single team has injuries. Every single team has players with something wrong with them, whether they report it or talk about it, something that's bothering them, whether it gets reported or people don't pay attention to it. Again, the Tom Brady MCL thing, knew nothing about it. It makes sense when you go back and look at some of the weird things that were going on with him and his movement and things like that. But in the moment, you didn't really, it wasn't obvious. And he didn't talk about it. And the media didn't make an issue out of it. And they protected it somehow. So, yes, Patrick hurt his ankle. Okay, well, he threw from the pocket for most of the game against the Bengals. And that right there told me that the ankle injury is real and not overblown. And I said that before the game. I said, if the ankle injury is legit, he will throw from the pocket the entire time, or most of it. And if he doesn't, there's something fishy about it, because a high ankle sprain is no joke. It's very difficult to deal with. So that's just there were ways to get out of that situation. There were ways to make it not so bad with the O-line situation. But he kept forcing the issue, running around like an idiot everywhere and trying to make everything happen on his own. That's not how you play football. That is not football. Football is not that way. This idea of this new thing where the quarterback is supposed to be the best athlete on the team. No, your job as a quarterback is to get the ball to the best athletes on the team. If you're trying to be a one-man crew here, it's going to blow up in your face when you meet some real competition and a team that really knows how to screw you up. And that's exactly what happened to Patrick in Super Bowl 55. A AFC Championship game between the Denver Broncos and Patriots for the 2015 season comes to mind here. If you guys remember that game, Milena, what Tom Brady got hit 20, 21, 22 times by DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller that game. He was completely getting lit up over and over and over again. And do you guys know why? Because there was no Dante Scarnecchia, the great legendary offensive line coach. That was the year he retired, and then he came back, of course, after that, because he didn't like seeing Tom Brady get destroyed. They couldn't stop anybody. I have never used that as an excuse. I have never said that, the Broncos win of that and go into the Super Bowl against the Carolina is tainted because Tom didn't have Dante Scarnecchia on the O-line as the O-line coach. Well, as far as I'm concerned, losing that kind of coach on your O-line is the same as losing one of your best offensive linemen on any other team. In fact, it may even be worse. It probably is. Okay? But that's the hand you're dealt. That's what you deal with. You can't just rely that what Scarnecchia is going to be there forever. You've got to find a way to get past that. And Tom damn near won the game. If it wasn't for a stupid kicker missing an extra point, it would have went into overtime. They wouldn't have needed that 2-point conversion to Gronk at the end. So, where's the excuses? There's not any. Because that's what happens. Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware aren't just going to stand around and let Tom Brady be Tom Brady, are they? They're not going to just stand there and go, oh, well, he ain't got his O-line coach, so we're going to take it easy on him tonight. Hell no. They're great too, okay? DeMarcus Ware is getting into the Hall of Fame. He just got in the new class here for the 2023. Von Miller will be in the Hall of Fame. You think they're just going to stand around and be, they're going to do their job. There's no excuses. You either stop them or you lose. And they did. And that's it. That's just how it is. But this new world we're living in, this new way of thinking, has got everyone looking for a reason why they didn't achieve something. It's like somebody's always holding them back. Something's always in their way. It's the new way of doing things. It's a new way of thinking. And the new sports fans are the same way. And if anything, Patrick Mahomes is representative of that new group, that new way of thinking, this excuse making and this all that. It's pathetic. It's annoying. But Sierra, yeah, didn't they say that Patrick had turf toe or something wrong with his toe or whatever, but yet he ran for 500 yards behind the line of scrimmage or some shit, something stupid like that, right? Yeah, sure, okay. So that's why I buy the ankle injury, because there's no way they would have risked Patrick throwing from the pocket the entire game against the Bengals with the trip to the Super Bowl on the line if there wasn't a real injury, okay? If it wasn't serious. So that showed me that it was serious. Now, what that's going to mean for tomorrow, we'll see. But I don't expect him to have to stay in the pocket like he did against the Bengals. But if he can develop that and work on that and get good at it, he'll add a much longer lifespan to his career. He'll be better for it, honestly. But I don't think Patrick is one of those guys. I don't think that he's got that. I don't think that's his game is reliant on improv. He's Brett Favre. Okay, he's Brett Favre. I think that's what I see here. I see the same thing that won Brett Favre 3 MVPs straight in the 90s. And a lot of you guys probably don't remember that. But this isn't anything new. What Patrick Mahomes is doing is not new. It's not. It's just, it's Brett Favre all over again. The improvisation, the running around, making stuff happen out of nothing, blah, 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 this and that. And yeah, that's what this is. It wins you MVPs, but will it convert to, Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl? We'll see. So. But Bloody Pleb says defenses Brady beat in championship games: 2000 Steelers, 2000s Ravens, the no fly zone 2017 Jaguars, Legion of Boom. Those are in both championship games, Super Bowl, either one. But those are great teams. And then there's some that he lost to, and there's no excuses there. The Giants, they punished Tom in 2007 in that Super Bowl. That was an undefeated Patriots team, and they got manhandled, dude. Their offensive line got dominated. It's just how it is. Okay. It sucks. It's unfortunate. So. Injuries. He was injured. They had injuries. The O-line was injured. Fucking people. Just a second. I'm looking for something here. Oh, here we go. So there was, before I start this, I'm going to preface it with this. I'm going to say that this is not about hating on somebody. This is just about reacting to how things really are. And when the media hypes up somebody, like they used to do with Aaron Rodgers, whoever else was before that, when they do that, they really do a disservice to that player, because now that player feels like he is forced to have to maintain that level and always make it about him. I've repeated this several times, but little things show you who people are and what they're thinking. It's Super Bowl 55 and the mic'd up video. Patrick says, "Come on, defense, get me one stop. Get me one stop." That's an odd choice of words. When you hear that and someone says something like that, what does that make you think? They're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about, it means that on his mind was, I am not performing well. I'm not throwing touchdowns. I'm on the stage and I'm not impressing everybody, so I need to make up for it. Okay? That's different than wanting to do well for your team. But I'll bring up Super Bowl 53 when Tom Brady was essentially like neutralized by Wade Phillips. Coincidentally, the same guy who neutralized him in 2015 in the game we were just talking about. And you saw Tom at the very end of the game in the mic'd up session, right? Tom's talking to Belichick, and Belichick's like, Bill looks like he's about to go for it. We don't catch what's said before that, but based on Tom Brady's reaction, we can assume that Bill was wanting to go for it on fourth down. And Tom's like, whoa, no. He even got smart with Bill, which was weird to see. He said, dude, let's just kick the field goal and we win. It's over. Why is this interesting? Why am I bringing this up? Here's why. Because Tom didn't have a touchdown in that game. The only touchdown in that game was a handoff to Sony Michel. Tom had an interception in that game as well. So his stat line wasn't that impressive. Do you think Tom gave a flying shit about that at all? He wanted the ring. He wanted the ring. That's it. That's all that mattered. Now, they could have gone for it on fourth down, and maybe they convert, and then Tom gets a touchdown pass or whatever, okay? And then he fixes his stat line. And then all of a sudden, okay, that might change something for him personally, as far as personal accolades. Maybe it even changes the voters' minds. Who knows? Who knows what would happen? But he didn't care about that. It wasn't about redeeming his performance. He didn't give a shit. All he cared about was winning. And that field goal made it a victory. It guaranteed it. It's a pretty simple kick. You kick it, it's over. No glory, no personal glory, no personal accolades, no Super Bowl MVP. No people are going to be talking about Tom Brady's amazing performance in Super Bowl 53. People aren't going to have barbershop conversations and debates in 50 years talking about Tom Brady's wonderful and amazing heroic performance in Super Bowl 53. He doesn't give a shit. But what do we do with Patrick Mahomes? We make memes and highlight reels of his incompletions. The one of the most famous one is him flying through the air, and he's about this high off the ground, and he's throwing the ball, and they're like, oh, he hit his receiver right in the face. That's funny. That's so funny. You know why? Do you know why that ball hit the receiver in the face? Because Devin White can't catch. Patrick Mahomes' throw, the sidearm flying through the air, the one that everyone talks about, that throw was extremely accurate. It was one of the most accurate throws I've ever seen. Straight to the Bucs linebacker. Okay? So if that's what we're talking about, okay. So he can't catch. The ball goes through his hands, and then because of this, hits the Chiefs receiver right in the right here, like perfectly. That wasn't a result of a great throw. That should have been intercepted, dude. That went right to him, right to the defense. He might as well have been wearing a Chiefs jersey. What are we talking about here? But no, Patrick just wanted to, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to go out looking good. Okay? Look good first, win second. Look good first, win second. Okay. That's how you see it. Oh, Aaron, but he was down by so much. He had to do all that. Really? I don't remember Tom Brady bombing the ball every second in Super Bowl 51 when they were down 28-3. No. He said, I'm going to just take what the Falcons give me. They're giving me all this underneath stuff. They're giving me the sidelines. What? Okay. They're afraid of a big shot down the field because they think that's what I'm doing. They think that's what we have to do. No. We're just going to play our game, and we're going to give them death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's just how it is. That's just what we're going to do. There was no flashy stuff. Would they have one deep attempt once? No, they just calculated it and took what was there. If you go back and watch Super Bowl 51, it is not the flashiest of performances. If you show that Super Bowl to someone who doesn't follow football that much and doesn't know a lot about the nuances and the details of everything that Tom is seeing out there, it doesn't look that impressive. You know, he's not going out there launching the ball deep and all this crazy shit's happening. Okay. It's not one of those things. It's not one of those type of games. It's just methodical, engineered, just over and over and over and over. It's not that impressive as far as visually. It's not running around. It's not sidearm throwing. It's not all that shit, okay? But who won? Who came back? Do you know who the best player on the field that day was? Milena, do you know? Who was the best player on the field in Super Bowl 51 that day? If we're talking about stats, if we're talking about performance, anybody know? This is not rhetorical. I'm literally asking you guys if you know who the best player on the field that day was. What'd you just say? What'd you just say? I can't hear you. What'd you just say? Did you say Matt? Yeah. Matt Ryan? Yeah. If you said Matt Ryan, you're absolutely correct. Matt Ryan was the best, most impressive player on the field that day. So if you're showing a clip of that game and you only show them Matt Ryan highlights, you would have thought they not only won the game, but they completely annihilated the Patriots. It didn't matter. Okay? If the Falcons win that game, Matt Ryan would have had one of the greatest seasons that we have ever seen. You know why? Because not only was he MVP, and he was easily MVP, okay? But that would have been one of the most legendary performances in a Super Bowl that we had ever witnessed. The dude was doing everything right. everybody gives him shit. He's not the reason they lost. There's all kinds of things that happened. That game was crazy, and we'll never see something like that again. It was just ridiculous, okay? But that doesn't mean anything if you don't win. If we put a highlight reel of Tom's playing Super Bowl 51, and you put Matt Ryan side by side, you didn't tell someone who didn't know about it, a foreigner or somebody who had no idea what the outcome was, and you show them side by side, and then they would be like, "Oh, well, that Matt Ryan guy's really good. Wow, he's so much better than the other dude. Who's that other guy? You mean the guy that threw the pick six? Tom Brady? Yeah." Tom Brady doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. So, and most people are not going to understand the things that Tom was seeing. The throws that he made on the sidelines, those throws, some of them were ridiculous. Okay? But they don't look that way. You have to understand the game. You have to understand the angles. You have to understand how it's being done and what he's seeing. And doing that under the most ridiculous pressure ever. Patrick thinks like his fans, okay? He believes like his fans. And I'm going to tell you, I am not buying this humble, good boy shit, okay? I bought into it a little bit before, but I can't ignore it anymore. I can't ignore all the stupid shit that he does, okay? And you can say one thing. You can say all of the cliche sports stuff. You know, it's a team, it's blah, blah, blah. I'm just here. I just want to win, blah, blah, blah. Listen, Aaron Rodgers, in a rare, extremely candid moment, told the truth. He said, anybody player who doesn't say they want to win MVP is lying, okay? Of course you want to be recognized for, being the best of that year of your peers, better than everyone else, right? Of course you want to be recognized for that. But you can't let that get into your mindset in a Super Bowl. That cannot be your thinking process. Regular season, if you're winning games and you're playing well, okay, that's fine, cool. But that cannot be your thinking process in the playoffs. It cannot be. It just can't. It doesn't work like that. And that's what Patrick was going for. He was worried about how he looked, not how the team was suffering, how they were not getting anywhere and they were getting embarrassed. And there were moments, go back and watch the Super Bowl. There were moments where Patrick would start to do that. He'd be like, oh, okay, I'll take that. Okay, to Kelsey here. Oh, I'll take this. I'll take that. Okay. He was doing that. And then he just stopped again. And then he went back into hero ball. It's like, dude, Patrick, what are you doing? Go back to that. Stick with that. Do it. You'll get down the field. The Bucs are letting you have it. And he didn't do it because he was worried about himself. He was worried about how it looked visually, not about what was actually happening. That's going to be a problem for him tomorrow, in my opinion. I think that he cannot live without that thing on his mind. He cannot, not live, but he can't play without that on his mind. And it's always in him because the hype is so big, the hype is so ridiculous that he can't escape it. And you either buy into it or you don't. And that's what I've been saying all these years about Patrick Mahomes' fans is stop it. Stop doing that. You're going to turn him into LeBron James. Okay? So even if Patrick didn't feel this way at first, he does now. He does because he has to. Because now he knows everybody's hyping him up. Celebrities are posting on Twitter about how great he is and all this stuff. He's feeling it from everywhere. He's got sponsors now, endorsements from everywhere, every angle that being thrown at him. He's feeling that. Okay? I mean, the dude is as sponsored and got as many endorsements as politicians do. It's crazy, right? So, or a NASCAR driver. And he's constantly thinking about that. It's about making Nike look good. So looking cool on the field. Okay, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Looking good on the field sells shoes. Okay? Looking good on the field sells merchandise. It smells. It probably smells. It sells all this shit that he's endorsing. Conservative playing, methodical playing, thought out quarterback stuff doesn't have the same effect. It's why that Tom Brady's endorsements are always weird stuff. Okay? Tom Brady's endorsements are strange things like weird mattresses that's made for robots, or cars that only like 5 people on Earth can afford, or Alienware, whatever the hell that shit is. The pajamas that like turn you into the T-1000 from Terminator 2. Okay, that stuff. Okay, he's always endorsing weird things because only people that think like that will identify with Tom. They will identify with that way of being and the way his play is. And it's, you can see that. It's not visual. It's something that's underneath. It's not something that's obvious. Patrick's endorsements are obvious. It's right there. Look, who does State Farm go after? Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. You think that's coincidental? No, they want the flashy quarterbacks. They want the guys that are kids are talking about, people are talking about. They want that association. Because it works on us peasants. It works on us, as Bloody Pleb says, the plebeians. It works on us. It does. It really does. It's obvious. I hate to say it, but most of society, that shit works on them. The flashiness works. You can get a politician that's the biggest liar on earth. I mean, the biggest liar. But if he can talk good, half the country will vote his ass in for president. People don't look at substance. They don't look at results. Okay? As much as they look at flash. And they can be deceived. And Mahomes is going to continue to play that way to keep that endorsements coming. He's not like Tom in the way that Tom only cares about winning. Tom Brady worships winning. He bet on himself. He took lower paychecks to keep winning. Tom Brady won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls in his first 4 years starting. Yet nobody considered him the best quarterback in the NFL. That went to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was still considered the best quarterback in the NFL, but Tom won 3 rings. You think Tom gave a shit about that? When Tom's first contract came up after he had his first biggest contract after he had 3 rings, do you know what he could have done to the market? He could have broken it. He could have just demanded whatever he wanted. Peyton's more obvious. Omaha, beep, beep, oh, you move over here, you move over there, blah, 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 blah. And everyone's like, oh, did you see how Peyton Manning is so cerebral? You see him at the line. Oh, you see his footsteps, his little foot patters? When he's patting on the ball, he's about to throw it. Oh, man, that's incredible, dude. And everyone was just, oh, he's so amazing. Look at him. He's so smart. Look at all that stuff he's saying. It's all so complicated when half of it is just bullshit. But that sells. It sells pizzas. Okay? It doesn't sell cybernetic pajamas, and it doesn't sell $1.2 million cars. Because that's really the only thing Tom can sell. And $10,000 mattresses. So there's certain styles, there's certain things that sell than others. But Tom never seemed to worry about that. It never seemed to be a concern of his. I think sometimes Peyton would let that get in his brain, get on his mind. There were times where I would see Peyton and I'm like, Peyton, just run the ball, dude. Just run the ball. Run the ball. It's okay. It's okay to run the ball. Just do it. You know? You don't always have to be the center of attention. Just take your time. Just do what you're supposed to do. I don't think it costs them sometimes. I mean, he still had an amazing career. What are we talking about here? He's one of the greatest ever. But I'm just saying, though, that if you're one of those quarterbacks that everyone is constantly talking about and wanting to see great things, they want new highlight reels. And you start to feel like you have to do that. You start to feel like that's something that you have to provide for people. And it gets in your brain. And you start thinking about it. And you start worrying how you look out there. Can't do that. Aditya Koncharla. Wait. I can get this right. Aditya Koncharla. I'm going to go with that. Does that sound right? Okay. Aditya Koncharla. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Says the media is saying that Patrick will be the next GOAT. Remember that they said the same thing about Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and they never won another one, and I see history repeating itself. Exactly. So it's always that. And just be who you are and let those things happen. Okay. So as like, if I was a big Patrick Mahomes fan, if I was a big Chiefs fan, I would just be like, no, God, let's just see what happens. He starts getting 3 rings, 4 rings, 5 rings. It's like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? Now we can start talking here. Okay. And you can say, could he do it? Could he pass, 1 fucking ring? One? You kidding me? All right. I'm actually having a lot of fun here. I'm enjoying this. Yes, I can. Sorry, Milena. Milena is ordering me right now, if you guys don't know. She's ordering me to ask you to subscribe. So if you're new here, please subscribe and click the bell icon. Make sure it is a solid color. Okay? Thank you so much. Please click like also. I'm catching up with you guys real quick. Let me see this real quick. Yeah, Israel says they were calling Peyton the GOAT after only having 1 ring. And then Tracy Porter happened. Yeah. And if you remember, Peyton's performance against the Colts in that Super Bowl wasn't exactly something to tell your children about. Okay? It just wasn't. So that leads me to this. Just a second. I just gotta stretch my legs just for a moment. Move this. Let me get my ass in gear. Good person. My Coke is getting a little warm, but it's fine.
Want a new one?
I don't know. Let me see. You want this one?
No, thanks.
You know what? Put this one to the side, and we'll use it for like ice cream or something. We'll make a float out of it, and then I'll just take a new one to drink. Thank you so much. Isn't she awesome, guys? All right. Here we go. Let me ask you guys, because memberships are down, does that mean you can't even like if I say Chris Sims, can you put his face?
No.
They took that away from you too?
Everything.
Well, that sucks. All right. So, John Thomas Chavez, I'm gonna talk some shit. I'm just kidding. So let me tell you something about John Thomas Chavez. Okay, John Thomas Chavez. His great uncle's probably Caesar Chavez or some shit, right, John? Right, John? Although that name Thomas, that's a great name. That's a family name for me. That name is important to my family, actually, for hundreds of years now. Don't know why that's relevant. Or Hugo Chavez. Yeah, that's true. Nah, for real. John Thomas Chavez, he's a young man, and he is one of the better representations of his generation. The kid knows history. He knows football. He knows a lot of things. He reads a lot. He has amazing interest for someone his age. I don't mean this in a self-serving way. It's just I don't know how else to say it, but he reminds me of myself at that age. Because it's very rare to be so young and care about such mature subjects and to follow things and be addicted to learning and a lot of knowledge. So, John, you're awesome, dude. And I've been impressed by you ever since you've been a subscriber here. But you're so fucking wrong on this post on Facebook. You like that shit? When someone is really, really, really selling you, they're about to talk shit. Okay. Oh, John's 23 now. See, John, I've known you now for what, 3 or 4 years? I think the first time I talked to you, you were what, 19 probably? You're a kid, man. You're very young. Listen, 23 today is, I'm not even joking. 23 today is basically me and my classmates at about 17 or 18, in my opinion. The gap has widened that much in 25 years. That's crazy. So, Aditya Kancharla, how old are you? He says, Kancharla says, damn, I'm the youngest motherfucker in here. You must be a big Zach Wilson fan. Sissy Chubbs is 16? What? But Chubbs has been watching this channel for years. says, been watching this channel since 12 or 13. Are you kidding me? I guess I forgot. I don't know. I'm I don't know. I remember someone being that young, but I didn't think it was you. I thought it was someone else. Maybe it was you. Yeah. Forgive me. But that's awesome. That's extremely awesome. Yeah, you don't talk. You've never spoken like your age, so props to you. But see, we have a lot of good fans here. We have a lot of good subscribers, and I've always said that we have the best football fan base when it comes to intelligence and smarts and knowing football. And so it makes sense that even our young people are awesome. But get off my lawn, right, Gord King? All right. So, John Thomas Chavez, you posted Patrick Mahomes has perfect response on surpassing Tom Brady as GOAT. That was the question that was asked of him. And you said great maturity from Patrick in his answers. I don't know. Okay. So I'm kidding about saying that you're wrong, whatever. That was just a joke. I was just messing with you. I'm in a good mood tonight, actually. But what I think about this is, and I get what you're saying. It makes sense. You know, I understand why you said that. But I can see through his bullshit. And I used to not. I used to buy it the same way, that with the same, sentiment, okay? But let me tell you guys something about Patrick Mahomes. I know his cousin's brother's sister's girlfriend. All right. Patrick Mahomes, his family does his real talking for him, okay? And we know what they think, and we know what they say. We also know what kind of players Andy Reid produces. He's always had arrogant, obnoxious, big mouth players, and he always fosters that type of behavior and personality, both as a coach and, honestly, I hate doing this, but as a father, kind of similar, right? Anyway, this is getting stupid, okay? This is getting stupid. This whole, can I beat Patrick, or can I beat Tom Brady? Can I pass Tom Brady? Patrick Mahomes actually said this. He said, I am chasing Tom Brady. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever seen him say. Okay? Or heard him say. Who the fuck has one Super Bowl victory to his name in his 6th year in the league and says, I'm trying to catch the guy with 7 Super Bowls and every stat you can imagine? Listen, Patrick, just try focusing on winning this one Sunday, okay? If you do, well, guess what? That gives you 2. You know what that means? You still need 6 fucking more. And all the stats, and all the records, and everything else, okay? This is ludicrous. By the way, he better hope Andy Reid's heart holds up. Okay? He is literally the key to everything Mahomes wants to achieve. No joke. Unlike the accusations about Brady needing Belichick, it's actually true with Andy Reid and Mahomes. It's actually true. People have no idea how difficult it is to win many Super Bowls. You have to make the right throws at the right time. Always make the right decision. And if you don't do that and you lose, you'll have to go back to the Super Bowl again to make it right before you can even gain any more ground. So when Patrick lost, he's got to come back and win that again. And if he loses this time, he's got to come back twice and win. Twice. And then that only gives him 2 in the event that he lost tomorrow and loses tomorrow. And yes, you have to be a great leader, okay? You have to never fold under pressure. I think Patrick is a pretty good leader. I do think he folds under pressure, at least so far. But you need your teammates to get shit done for you, and you need competent coaching. There's a lot to this. Okay? You have to want to win the Super Bowl more than life itself. It has to be your entire reason for existence. Okay? It's why you're here. Because that's what Brady was always doing. You guys remember what Brady said? This is a quote from Tom Brady. Paraphrase, not word for word, but it's basically what it is. He said, if you want to beat me, you have to be willing to die for it. Because I'm willing to. That's cold, dude. That is, man, that's freaking awesome. That's dark, all right? And yes, Brady did say that. Look, it took 4 attempts for the great Peyton Manning just to get 2. And 3 of those, perhaps 2, maybe, or 2 of those for sure, perhaps 3 of those appearances, they were extremely close to being taken from him by Tom Brady. Peyton's 5 MVPs didn't help him to get even close to Tom. It took Brady 10 to get to 7. 10 Super Bowl appearances. 10. Fucking 10. Motherfucking 10. Okay? A pencil. I watched him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. A fucking pencil. 10. That's like killing a man in a bar with a pencil. John Wick. That's right. Okay? And because Tom was never blown out, and because he never blew out anyone else except for the Mahomes Super Bowl, ironically enough, Brady could be 10-0. Or he could be 1-9. Think about that. Those differences were decision-making, first and foremost. Making the right reads, making the right throws, the right decisions. And of course, among the other stuff already mentioned. But in 3 of his Super Bowl losses, and the 3 that he had, Tom did what needed to be done to get the win. And his defense couldn't close. Now, I'm not placing blame, okay? Only to say that the point here is that shit happens along the way, all right? And this idea that winning 7 Super Bowls is so easy just because Mahomes makes sidearm throws is fucking insulting and moronic. If anyone thinks any team or any quarterback is going to 10 Super Bowls in the same time frame Brady did, you're a moron. So Mahomes has to be better than that in a shorter time frame. He can't afford to lose again, in my opinion, because 7 isn't enough. He needs 8. Because not only did Brady own his ass in 2020, but Tom also took a potential ring from him in 2018. I mean, we would never know if they end up beating the Rams or not. But Patrick cannot remedy this. Tom's gone now. Tom's got 2. Patrick's got 0. So equaling Tom won't work unless he gets like 7 out of 10 or some shit. 7 out of 8, whatever. So Patrick, get started, buddy. 10 Super Bowl appearances. That's the number we're working with. It doesn't mean that has to be that way, but that's the example that Tom set here. That's the number we have to go off of. You have 1. You lost 1. You can't really risk losing another this early. So you better win tomorrow. That's for sure. You might also want to get a lot better from the pocket and reading defenses. You won't be able to run around to your receivers on every play in season 15. Okay? Nor will Andy Reid be on the sidelines unless he drastically changes his life choices tomorrow and somehow is a medical marvel. Don't forget that despite the fact that Peyton and Tom were both pure pocket passers who didn't run around, didn't leave the pocket, they both lost an entire season due to freak injuries. Okay? Don't forget, Mahomes limps around the field every time he's sacked nearly. You think that's going to last? You know, this shit pisses me off, okay? Why can't we just enjoy the great quarterbacks we have today instead of this comparison bullshit? Each year that goes by, Mahomes is becoming the LeBron James of the NFL. Chasing a person when he's not even reaching other players that are lesser than the target. Okay? It's obvious Patrick's going to go into the Hall of Fame. He's got that, okay? So we can probably go ahead and say that that's a done deal. Or it's going to be. Whatever you want to say, I think we can all agree that's pretty much going to happen. So he's got that. Now he needs to just focus on winning, having a good career, keep adding to what he's doing. And then the more you do that, the more you start to get placed higher and higher in the group of greatest NFL quarterbacks of all time. You know, you want to break the top. If just for the sake of argument, because I don't want to take away from my point here, let's say that if you believe that he's already top 15 or whatever, okay, then you want to be top 10. And then you want to be top 7. Then you want to be top 5 and top, whatever. You want to keep that going. All of those things have to happen before you can even talk about, even wondering about if you're going to be the GOAT. This is ridiculous, okay? And just for the record, my Hall of Fame comment is basically assuming that he continues, okay? Assuming that he continues to play good football. And he doesn't have to win more MVPs and stuff like that, but just play good football and keep adding to his... Well, I'm assuming that's going to happen for at least 4 more years, probably. So 3 or 4 more years. So assuming that's the case, he's pretty much got it. But they're letting anybody in the Hall of Fame. Did you see the class of 2023? My God. They're letting people in out of nostalgia now. I mean, this is just getting stupid. So the Hall of Fame really doesn't mean much anymore as far as I'm concerned. If Patrick wins tomorrow, he will break the MVP curse. Milena, do you know what the MVP curse is?
Yes, whoever becomes the MVP.
Always loses in the Super Bowl, right? Yeah, exactly. This curse was created by Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner was MVP of 1999 and then was Super Bowl MVP of that year. Every single quarterback MVP going into the Super Bowl has lost. And some of them have lost in ridiculous fashion. There seems to be something about it that just doesn't work. Okay? It's very bizarre. Even Kurt Warner was a victim of his own curse. In 2001, he was the MVP. And had the Rams won that game, he probably would have been Super Bowl MVP again. Even with that pick 6. Because I think, I'm okay, so I'm assuming that at the end of the game, let's say that Adam Vinatieri misses the kick to win the game at the end, or Tom Brady doesn't do his GOAT stuff, which is, making all the right throws in your own territory. And that doesn't happen. And they go into overtime. The Rams had the momentum. I have no doubt that Kurt would have been able to put a good drive together if they got the ball. But anyway, the point is that they were the heavy favorites, 2 touchdown favorites over the Patriots. Lost. And there begins the curse. It starts. Now, the curse wasn't tested again until 2007. Tom Brady's record-breaking 50 touchdowns in a season. The greatest regular season by any quarterback in NFL history. It still is. Now, That takes us to, so 07, 08, there was not one. 09, that takes us to Peyton against the Saints. So Peyton goes into that Super Bowl and throws a pick six to Tracy Porter. That was the Super Bowl that Sean Payton onside kicked after halftime, which was awesome. I loved it. That was crazy. It really, he earned my respect after doing something like that. That was crazy right there. Okay, so another failure. 2010. Well, that doesn't count either. Tom was the MVP, but they got put out in the divisional. We're talking about the Super Bowl curse here. 2011. Neither quarterbacks were MVP that year. 2012, same thing. 2013, that was Peyton Manning's record-breaking touchdown record, beating Tom's 2007 record. And they got completely annihilated by the Seahawks. That takes us to 2015. Cam Newton was MVP of 2015. And we all know the famous doesn't jump on the fumble. Peyton Manning gets his ring and Von Miller Super Bowl MVP. So there it is. The very next year, the aforementioned Super Bowl 51, Matt Ryan is MVP. And if anybody was going to break the curse, it was Matt Ryan. Okay, you're up 28-3 in the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, how do you not win this? Okay, so Matt was the one that was about to break it, and something weird happened. Okay, again, 2017, again the very next year, Tom Brady against the Philadelphia Eagles. Bill Belichick decided to go full retard, and the defense played like shit. Tom had probably one of the best performances ever in a Super Bowl and was robbed of breaking the curse. Damn, that sucks. The next MVP to go to the Super Bowl was No. This will be the first time since then. That's interesting, isn't it? So Patrick has a chance to break the curse, but and if we're not just talking about Super Bowl curse, we're talking about just what happens to MVPs. We'd have to go back all over those again, and because there's a lot where the MVP lost in the divisional round, okay, like one and done, boom, or lost in the championship game, like Mahomes did in 2018. Something always happens, okay? Something always happens. If Patrick is the one to break this curse, now I'm not talking about him playing like garbage for most of the game and then somehow miraculously being helped out or whatever. That would be kind of weird, and some other person's MVP or whatever, like some defensive player on the Chiefs or some random offensive player. Okay. I don't know if that's the same thing. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess, but really what we're looking for was when we say the Kurt Warner thing, it's MVP of both. So not only are you the MVP of the league, but you are the best player in the Super Bowl. So you've got to do both of those things. So winning is just, I don't know if that applies. It depends on how you feel, I guess. But it's still quite an achievement. But if he plays well tomorrow and he's Super Bowl MVP, they win, and he played great, I will give it to him. I will, Patrick broke the curse, and I'll give him his props. Okay? So that's pretty cool because this thing seems to not be able to be broken. It's a very strange thing. But it's only strange if you look at it in a simplistic way. If you look underneath of what it really is, there's reasons for it. When you're an MVP, and you're the quarterback MVP specifically, it means that the entire team is built around you. Okay? It means that everything is pass heavy normally, or relying, if it's not all pass heavy, it's relying on you to make plays like Lamar Jackson in 2019, which he made plays in both his feet and with his legs and his arm. But it's all about you. And when you get into the playoffs, you're facing other great teams, teams that have survived the gauntlet of the regular season, and they are great too, and in their own right. And they know what you're doing, and they know what they're doing. And in each round you get past, it gets harder and harder and harder. Now, if you guys remember in Brady's 07 record-breaking season, from the very beginning, the divisional against the Jaguars wasn't the prettiest win I've ever seen. It certainly didn't look like the regular season games. The AFC Championship against the Chargers, is any one of us going to say that was impressive? So these good teams that were in the playoffs were finding ways to neutralize it more than the regular season teams could catch on to. And that's just how it always is. And the New York Giants were the perfect storm. And they knew we just hit Tom, hit Tom, hit Tom, hit Tom. And that's all they know will beat them. They don't know anything else this year. They just Brady to Moss, Brady to Moss, Brady to Welker, Brady to Welker, Brady to Stallworth. That's it. And we neutralize that. If we can get to them, we have a chance. And bad things happen. Defensive teams are built for the postseason. It's very rare when an offense-centric team is the dominant force. It's not a good mix deep into the playoffs. You need to be able to do a lot of different things. Okay. And usually if you're MVP, it means that in order to accumulate those stats, those crazy numbers, it means that everything is always relying on you. And that's not a good sign. It's like when I said, people say Tom set the record for completions and attempts in NFL history. Well, that looks good for Tom because he's 45. In that way, it looks great. But just as a quarterback in general, that's not a stat you want. If you're throwing the ball that many times, it means you've got nothing else. It means your run game is garbage. Okay? It means that you're behind a lot in games. It's not something that you want to be a part of if it's not translating to wins, and it normally doesn't translate very well into the playoffs. Okay? And that's where this curse comes from. That's what's causing it. Because in this day and age, in the last 20 years or whatever, we'll say last 15 years, the quarterback, it was always quarterback stat heavy. It doesn't translate very well. And that's what's happened, There were close calls, like I said. That curse should have been broken in 2016, man. That should have been Matt's. It should have been. If it wasn't for playing the freaking Patriots, man. Tom Brady and the Patriots, they're the only team that could have done that. Anybody else, any time differently, the Falcons win, and Matt Ryan is the one who breaks it. And then the very next year, that should have been Brady's. Brady should have been the one to break it in 2017. So, but something always happens. But a lot of that has to do with being reliant on that. If you guys remember, the Falcons were very reliant on their offense. Their defense was okay. It wasn't terrible. It was okay. But it wasn't anything special. It was an offensive team. Just like, it's... The 2007 Patriots, the defense was overrated. It benefited a lot during the regular season from them always being up a lot. So less pressure, less situation. You got a good quarterback that knows what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. We know the drill. But again, that catches up with you when you're starting to play great teams in the postseason, when things get tight, things get difficult. You need to have other ways to be able to get the victory. And that's where the curse is coming from. That's what's causing it. It's kind of like the Madden curse too. Madden curse can be explained. You know, the Madden cover, when you're on the cover and the next year is always a down year or whatever. Well, that I can explain that too. So okay, I'm just going to go back for a second and catch up with you guys. Oh, actually, no. Hang on. There's one more thing I wanted to tell you guys. It's a great comment by a guy who's very active on our Facebook group. I know him as Johnny Muggins, but he goes by other names too. In this particular case, he goes by Seth Maxwell. But he made a comment or a reply to one of my comments regarding the Patrick Mahomes thing. And it's a great comment here, so I just thought it was worth reading. He said, exactly what you said, VonAllen. Belichick's age in Brady's 5th NFL year, which is 2004, he was 52, only 52. Andy Reid's age in Mahomes' 5th year NFL year starting is 64. Okay? Belichick's age 64 season was 2016, the year Brady won his 5th Super Bowl. There's way too many people who think Mahomes is on pace to surpass Brady in GOAT status, but he's really not even close to doing that. All they see is the exciting athletic Mahomes making baseball throws and jogging past over pursuing defenders and playing backyard football, winning MVPs and going to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. But they're not seeing the bigger picture or the reality of it. Aaron Rodgers was every bit as great as Mahomes is right now. Prior to Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers was the Mahomes. Rodgers was the GOAT, the best of all time. Remember how they used to make that distinction between best of all time and greatest of all time? Rodgers was the greatest thrower of the football we've ever seen, who could evade and elude and thrill and amaze with his magical quarterback powers. Okay, so what happened? Why aren't we all talking about Aaron Rodgers that way anymore? Well, because he went 12 years without a Super Bowl appearance. That's why. But if we travel back in time to February 2011 or even 2012, we see that he was getting the same on-pace treatment that Mahomes is currently getting. But then reality showed up, and reality really doesn't care about your feelings or your fandom. And the reality is exactly what you said, VonAllen. Andy Reid is a massive coronary waiting to happen. He'll be lucky to make it to Mahomes' 30th birthday, much less still be coaching in his 70s. And then there's Travis Kelce, Mahomes' number 1 target in 2018, 19, 20, and 2022, who will be 34 in October. Does he have 5 years left in him at that level? I doubt it. And then there's Brittany, the psychotic, pants-wearing ball and chain who won't be nearly as flexible as Giselle was regarding the whole playing football into my 40s thing. But that's perfect, what you said. Brady is Jordan. Mahomes is LeBron. And there will be Nick Wright forever flipping his wig, trying way too hard to convince everyone that LeBron Mahomes is all-time greater than Michael Brady. Nope. Never going to happen. That was a great response to my comment there. I just told him I just read it. Okay. How long have I been on for anyway? Let's see here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and catch up with you guys real quick. So if you're only listening at home, if you're just listening, I'm letting you know that's why there is a pause in the bitch session. Oh yeah, that's a good I got cat hair. Word to the wise, don't kiss your cat before a show. What the
Never mind.
Did you just say that?
No. It's just
Wow. What's up, pussycat? Whoa. Okay.
Tom Jones.
Con Charles says it's not like Tom had a 7-game series like LeBron, who's 4-6 in the NBA Finals. That's interesting too. Like football is a one single elimination tournament. In basketball, you get plenty of chances. So most of the time in basketball, the better team ends up winning. You know, the team that is with the great record and all that, they're going to outlast the team, the opposition when you got 4 out of 7 chance. You know, so you got that tends to happen that way. But in the NFL, you can't make any mistakes. It's like 2007, okay? If the Giants and Patriots had to play 2 out of 3 games, the Patriots win the next 2, okay? They would have made the adjustments. They would have known what not to do because they were the better team. They were just the better roster. So in football, you've got to be on your game all the time. And that's why going to 10 Super Bowls is so ridiculous. That's a good point. Am I surprised that the Eagles are favored in this game? No, not at all. I actually think they should be favored by more. I think that when the original numbers came out, now it's just about the betting public and what they're going with. But the original opening line, I think, could have been a little more for the Eagles actually. But I don't know. I don't get into that. The points and stuff like that. I think there's really no. I just don't see a reason for it. I like to just look at who's going to win or lose, win whatever. So. The Gord King says an NBA team can lose 12 playoff games and still win a title. It's just exactly. It's just not the same. All right. And on the Facebook group here, see if I can find this. Yeah. A gentleman named Caleb Nahus, or whatever you want to call it. He posted a meme that said, the scoring record didn't make Kareem the GOAT, and it certainly doesn't make LeBron the GOAT. Change my mind. You know. Listen, I'm going to briefly talk about this, about referring to LeBron James, but it's only because it's, believe it or not, it is relevant to the football GOAT conversation. So, Like I've had to say a million times to people, being the GOAT, being the greatest is a mosaic of things, okay? You need Hall of Fame numbers in almost all categories that are relevant, but especially in basketball. Stats are stats, right? But without the rings, they don't carry enough weight to make a GOAT, right? But one thing we don't look at is era. Era matters as well, and not in the sense of era is, oh, it's tougher, it's harder, blah blah blah. That's not what I mean. I mean era as in when the leagues were first starting. All right. It's why we don't count Otto Graham that much. We don't think of him as being the GOAT. He had 7 championships total, right? So why is he not? Why wasn't he the number one guy? Now, I know for some he probably was, but generally speaking, why don't we talk about him? Because the NFL was still, it wasn't quite there yet, you know? Or Bill Russell, right? Bill Russell winning with the Celtics. Winning in the infancy of a sport isn't going to hold long enough. Baseball was the only thing that was competitive in those days. And if you were a great athlete, you played baseball. That's just how it was. Our league, the NFL, really leveled out when the leagues merged, or the Super Bowl era, whichever you prefer. The NBA didn't even have its first championship until 1950. Think about that. When Russell was winning all those championships in the 50s and 60s, there was only a handful of teams, and it took only 2 rounds to get to the finals. It was ridiculous. LeBron ruined his shot by bouncing around when it was convenient and letting his draft team suck ass for years. All right? I hold that against him. The greatest ones turned their original teams into winners. Then you can go and leave in the twilight of your career after your job is done if you want to have some fun, you know, or your team doesn't want you anymore. Okay. You don't run away at the start of your best years and let your draft team and your fan base stew in filth and then come back when they have a bunch of draft picks that have been seasoned. Okay? When did LeBron ever win like Dirk Nowitzki did? A one-man show. Go back and watch that Mavericks Heat series again. Nowitzki was a fucking Terminator. Or when Kobe went back-to-back with only one bona fide guy on the roster, Pau Gasol, nearly going three-peat. It took an amazing Celtics team. You guys remember them? The Big Three? Should have been called the Big Four now that you know what we know now. It took that to keep Kobe from having 2 three-peats, just like Jordan. You could literally see Kobe elevating those teams with his work ethic and leadership. He was the basketball version of Tom Brady when it came to those type of things. If you can attract guys to your team, okay, good for you. That's fine. But going somewhere else in your primest of primes to get it done is nonsense. In basketball, this is even more important because one player can have such a profound effect on the team's success. Miami ruined him. Being the GOAT is about greatness. Greatness in your sport, greatness as a leader, and someone who your opponents fear. LeBron has never had any kind of greatness. Natural ability isn't enough. Don't talk to me about natural ability. Okay, so you were born. Okay, whatever. He's a shitty leader of men. No one in the NBA has ever feared him. He's never had the psychological edge over anyone worthy. Teams and players feared Jordan. They feared Kobe. They feared Shaq. They even feared Larry Bird. The Pistons. The boring-ass Spurs were even feared at times. No great team was ever psychologically dismayed by LeBron being on the court against them. Oh, LeBron is here. Oh, shit, I don't know if we can win. Because they know he can be messed with. Being the GOAT is so much more. It's both tangible and intangible. And we all know it when that man has arrived. Milena, knowing the GOAT is easy. It was easily Montana before Brady. It's something that is overwhelmingly indisputable with any rational discourse. LeBron James is the very definition of longevity, empty calorie stats, and extremely unimpressive rings.
Period. Israel says.
Period. Now, why are we talking about this? Because it's relevant to the Mahomes Brady thing. It's the same damn thing. From the very moment that LeBron James came into the league, it was already, can he beat Jordan? Can he pass Jordan? It's like, dude, you hadn't even done anything. Like, are we kidding? Are we joking? Is this serious? It was insulting. Especially when at the time you already had a kid who had won 3 finals and actually was the second coming of Jordan, which was Kobe Bryant. He literally was just like exactly like Jordan. I mean, it was like his clone. It could have been his son. You know, it's weird. But they did it anyway. And they hyped it. And so what happened to LeBron? It got into his brain. Does it sound familiar? Does this sound like what we were just talking about 30 minutes ago? It got into his brain. Oh, I've got to be the best. I've got to beat Jordan. So I need rings. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to leave my team. I'm going to go to Miami. I got to get a bunch of rings. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Yeah. Remember how absurd that was when he was saying that shit when he got to Miami? Well, there is a guy who actually did that. There is a guy in existence that did that. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. His name's Tom motherfucking Brady. He did that. But he didn't have to say it. Tom didn't say it. He didn't talk about it. He didn't talk about beating Montana. He didn't talk about passing Bradshaw. He didn't say that shit when he had 3 in the first 4 years of him starting. But that stuff gets in your head. If LeBron wasn't being compared to Jordan and trying to be that, he doesn't leave Cleveland. That move was specifically to try to chase something that wasn't attainable in the first place. And that's what we're seeing all over again. Patrick Mahomes is the same shit. The same thing. You want to talk about chasing Brady? Patrick said this himself. Did you know that, Milena? He actually said that himself. Patrick said, I'm chasing Tom. Why would you say that? Well, I mean, I just... So that tells you that it's getting in his brain. So he's going to make decisions like LeBron. So what happens when Andy Reid does have that coronary, as Muggins just said? When is that going to happen? And what happens after that? Does Patrick start... Does he ditch the Kansas City Chiefs? Does he try to find a way to get traded? What does he do? Does he feel that pressure? It's not good for a fan base to put this kind of pressure on a guy like that. It doesn't work. It always blows up. It always does. And just let great be great. Let them do what they do. You know, Jordan didn't win a single damn championship in the 80s when he was the greatest thing. It all came later. Because there were some things that had to happen, you know. Jordan started working out more. They understood that they needed to build the team better. There were a lot of things that had to happen. But Jordan didn't just up and leave after not being able to win a championship. He didn't just take off and bail on the Chicago Bulls. And Tom Brady didn't just leave and bail on the New England Patriots. And that was when he had every right to, because they were never going to give him a record-breaking contract. He could have got that somewhere else. He could have got that from a lot of teams. But he never did that. He made his mark with the team that drafted him. That's what greatness is. A team gets you because they need your help. They get you hoping that you help them become something, because they don't like being crappy. When Brady was drafted to the Patriots, nobody expected much of him. But they were a team in decline. And they just fired their coach. How do you think the Bulls were able to draft Jordan? How do you think the Cavaliers were able to draft LeBron? They want you to help them. They need you to help them. You don't just ditch them. Like I said, you win for them. When Tom left, he got them 6 rings, dude. 6. Tom was allowed to leave and have some fun. He wanted to throw the ball. He wanted to go some warm weather, and he just wanted to throw the ball down the field. It's the old saying, fuck around and find out. Okay? Well, that's what he did. He went down to Tampa Bay, fucked around, won a championship. But he just wanted to have some fun. He wanted to win, but he wanted to have some fun. And he deserved it. He earned it. He earned the right to do that. It's one thing to talk about other great athletes from maybe outside your sport that inspire you, or you want to, or that had an impact on you. Like I remember Russell Wilson, when he was young, he said he remembers Michael Jordan holding up the 6 when Michael won the 6th one against Utah. And he said he remembers seeing that, and it inspired him to want to win. Okay? It doesn't mean that Russell thinks he's going to win 6. Okay? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But the point was it inspired him to want to always strive for winning, not necessarily anything else but winning. Now, Russell is not that person anymore. Something happened to him. But he was that person in the early part of his career. The point is that's okay to think that. That's okay to let it inspire you. But to literally say that you're chasing a guy in your own sport that you're not even close to, you're nowhere near at all, you just insulted everyone else that's in between you and Brady. So he already thinks he's just going to surpass everybody else. He's going to so did you know this? Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he's already surpassed Joe Montana. He's already Johnny Unitas. He's already John Elway. He's already Peyton Manning. He's already passed Aaron. He's already passed Brett Favre. They all suck. He's done with them. They're over there. He's already passed them. His target is Tom Brady. Do you have any idea how stupid this is? How bad it sounds and how insulting it is? Come on. It's arrogance. Don't tell me about him being humble. It's fake. It's bullshit. That right there, that is arrogance. He believes it. He believes his hype. He buys into it. And Andy Reid fosters this kind of thinking. Andy Reid has always had players like this. Do you guys remember the old Eagles teams he used to have? Big mouth motherfuckers, okay? All they did was talk. Talk. They thought they were so great. All those guys. Who'd they add to their roster? Terrell Owens, another talker. This is what Reed likes this. He encourages it. So, tomorrow. I want to be able to. Yeah, Gord King, yes, thank you. McNabb still talks shit. He thinks the Eagles were better than the Patriots. The 04 Patriots, he thinks they're better. They were pretty good. They were good. I mean, they were okay. So, they weren't the best team I've ever seen. But he still believes that, you know? I remember no names like Freddie Mitchell on the Eagles saying, "Oh, Rodney Harrison, I got something for you." Freddie Mitchell, you called out Rodney Harrison days before the Super Bowl? Yeah, Freddie Mitchell, I don't remember you in the Super Bowl. You did nothing. The only one on the Eagles who actually did anything was the guy with the bum leg, Terrell Owens. But they talked shit. They thought they were so great. Travis Kelce, so obnoxious. That's what Andy Reid likes this. That's what he encourages it. He's no different. His sons are notorious for being out of control and, you know, just no discipline. One of his sons just killed somebody in DUI, driving drunk. What a fucking dick. You know? What an arrogant asshole. I know Andy Reid is the fat, fun-loving guy, okay? Everybody loves the fat guy, that jolly guy, you know? It reminds you of Santa Claus. You know? People are forgiving of that. And Andy Reid comes across as the big, lovable dude. But you got to look deeper. You got to look at this. Look how his players act. You guys remember Tyreek Hill on his team? Remember how annoying that motherfucker was? That's what they do. Yeah, the DUI actually happened the week of the Super Bowl 55. Yeah. Yeah, Brian D'Souza. Yeah, McNabb. Yeah, the one who threw up on the field in the Super Bowl thought they were better. Seriously, that 04 Pats team was a wagon on both sides of the ball. Might just be the best Pats team ever. It's one of them. In my personal opinion, I think overall team-wide, I think 2014 is probably the best, but 2004 is right up there. They're definitely top 5 greatest teams of all time as far as I'm concerned. I think as far as just greatest team unit, you know, like there is always better singular defense, singular offense, or whatever. We can have that discussion, but overall, just a great team that played so well together. Yeah, one of the best. And McNabb, yes, that guy who threw up in the huddle in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's that mentality. It's an Andy Reid trait of his teams. That's what his teams have always been. You guys remember the Eagles' dream team? Remember that? Remember they thought they were a dream team and they were going to go undefeated? Like during the regular season, like the Patriots? He doesn't silence them. He doesn't tell them to stop. He's not like Belichick who says, "Hey, what are you talking about? Don't say that shit." No, he likes it. He wants it. So this humble shit that people are thinking with Patrick Mahomes is not. It's not. It's fake. It's nonsense. And for that reason, I cannot root for this. I can't. The only way I can be okay with Patrick winning tomorrow and Super Bowl MVP is if there's no shady anything going on. If there's no weirdness with the flags or weird this or that, okay? And he plays well. He plays great, and it's not a pity or name MVP like the one he got in Super Bowl 54. Then of course I'll give him his props. That's just how it is. But to say I want to see that, so-called Mahomes fans are robbing me of being able to enjoy this, enjoy his possible, record year, the breaking the Super Bowl curse or the MVP Super Bowl curse. When I was young, we didn't have this problem. Every year, you just looked forward to the Super Bowl. There was no like, oh, I hope if they lose, they win, we're never going to hear the end of it. Blah blah blah. It wasn't something that was on your mind. It wasn't something that would constantly just be in your face all day long, and people just making stupid comments and comparisons all the time. It just was different. You could just look forward to the Super Bowl or whatever, NBA Finals, whatever it was, and just enjoy it, even if it wasn't your team. You could just have fun. You could enjoy the greatness of the players and from both sides. It didn't matter. I miss that. I really do. And I know it's always been there, okay? There's always been this kind of thing, but it just wasn't as pronounced. It was not as in your face all the time. It wasn't just so bad. It was so unbearable, You guys remember, Tyreek Hill constantly, when he would make a touchdown, he'd get right in the face of the guy and wave bye, right? Well, Tyreek Hill was allowed to do that, apparently. But when Antoine Winfield Jr. does it in the Super Bowl to Tyreek Hill, he gets flagged for it. And the commentators say, oh, there's no reason for that. That was uncalled for, blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? No mention of Tyreek Hill doing that to everybody. So whatever, that's fine, but don't sit there and whine about it when it happens to you, So, and the Chiefs fans are all like, "Oh, I can't believe he did that. What a poor sportsman." Oh, really? John Thomas Chavez says, if any other teams did the antics the Chiefs do, like their ring around the rosy shit before the snap, there'd be people calling for delay of game and sportsmanlike conduct. That's the shit I'm talking about. Ring around the rosy? Are you just because you can punk your opponent doesn't mean you should. That's just, what is that? That is just complete idiocy. Because it was the Raiders, they knew they could do that. They ain't doing that to the Tom Brady's Patriots, okay? They're not going to be doing that against the Eagles. That is just representative of their arrogance and how Andy Reid is as a coach. He's a great coach, but he fosters that and he takes care of that type of attitude and that mentality. How many Chiefs players have been in trouble with the law since Andy Reid took over? There's been a lot. Someone needs to, well, maybe I will. I'll look it up. It's interesting. I'm just curious, actually, because someone mentioned Tyreek Hill getting sentenced for hitting a lady. It just reminded me of the Tyreek Hill, the Hill incident before, and Kareem Hunt incident, and some others. It's a weird thing. Oh, Bloody Pleb. Yes, I remember that. He says, Bloody Pleb says, I remember when Brady beat the Chiefs and Tyrann Mathieu cried racism and tried to say that Brady called him a racial slur, and nobody held Mathieu accountable. Nobody. And we all knew it was bullshit. It's like, come on, you loser. But he was such a poor sportsman that he couldn't handle getting completely dominated by Tom Brady on the field that day. He couldn't handle it because they bought into their own hype. They were supposed to go back to back. They're the new dynasty. That's what they were saying. That's what they were calling themselves. They felt it was theirs, and nobody could stop it. And when they couldn't do anything about it on the field, and they couldn't help themselves, they couldn't get anything right, he lost control. And the only thing he had to play was he couldn't admit that he got owned. He had to make up some bullshit. This is a trait of all Andy Reid teams. It's not new. Oh, John, he got flagged. There was a penalty for it. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Kevin Godnet says, I think he was salty like the Marshall Faulk after the 0-1 Super Bowl. And you can't believe it. You think that you're entitled, and you think that it's just yours, and it's supposed to be. The Patriots, one negative thing about the Patriots dynasty or Tom Brady himself is that it's made people believe that it's easy to do what they did. Because there's an entire generation of people that grew up knowing nothing but the Patriots' dominance. And so they think if this guy can win that many, well, this other guy is making cool baseball throws, so he must be able to win 7 or 10, okay? That's what's happening. Okay, so we're getting to the part of the show where I want you guys to make your pick, and then I'll tell you mine, like what I think is going to happen. So I'm going to give you guys the floor first. So I want you to comment. Tell me. I want you to type all this in the same comment, okay? So it's all together so I can keep up with which ones are which. Tell me who you want to win first. Tell me who you think is going to win, and give me the score. So I'll write it here. So there it is. Who you want to win, who you think will win, and the score. And put it all in the same comment so we have them all together. I'll give you guys just a moment to do that. So, how are you doing, Milena?
Oh, perfect.
I need your assessment as well.
I'm working on it.
Okay, cool. She's working on it. And remember, if you think that someone's at a disadvantage, like some injury on the Chiefs or whatever, and you still pick them, you cannot use that for an excuse later. It doesn't work like that. So first up, we have Gord King says he wants Eagles to win. He has them winning, and the score will be 24-20. 146 Zigzag says Eagles for both, and they will win the trench war 31-21. John Thomas Chavez wants Philly to win, and he thinks they will. But you can't count out KC. The final score will be 31-27 Philly. Kevin Godnett says, I'd like the Chiefs to win. Kevin's going for the Chiefs. That's probably because he still has some hatred for the Eagles-Vikings game in 2017, maybe? Yeah, I don't blame you. They were very annoying, weren't they? So, Kevin Godnett's got the Eagles 30-20. Sierra Chubbs, I want the Eagles to win. I think the Eagles will win 34-21. Nice. Anthony Preston says he wants the Eagles to win, and he thinks they're going to win. The score, 31-17. Anthony. Okay. Brian D'Souza, I want the Eagles to win by 1 billion, but sadly, the Eagles will only win by 46. Oh, man. I love it. All right, Brian. He says Eagles 56-10 over the Chiefs. Jalen says, of course, leave it to Jalen to not follow the rules. Just gives me a score. Says KC 34, Eagles 12 with 2 extra points missed. That's interesting. John Thomas Chavez says Philly's run game is going to lose, but the former, what? Israel, I want Philly to win, and I have them winning 34-24. Kevin Garnett says, yes, I was right about the Vikings-Eagles bitterness there. Cinema Crow says, Eagles are going to dominate, but Mahomes will get a garbage call late, 43-40. So you think the Chiefs are going to end up winning with a bad call later on. Kind of like the Rams-Bengals 23-20. Something like that, where at the end the refs kind of take over. Is that kind of what you're going for there? There's someone missing from the group. I've noticed Nefertiti. Whoa, are you taking your shirt off? Oh, wait, jacket. She's taking her jacket off. I just said jacket off.
No.
John Thomas Chavez says, I meant Philly's run game is going to pose a challenge. My phone's autocorrect just hates me. Yeah. You mean like the time that you said the word complete and it ended up completion and it ended up being Zoweebiju? Okay. Terrence Howell. What's up, Terrence? Says he wants Eagles to win. Screw the Chiefs. Eagles win 30-20. Mahomes hasn't played well in a Super Bowl yet. Luke says also the final score will be 27-20. Nefertiti. Milena wants the Eagles to win. Thinks the Eagles are going to win. 28 for the Chefs,
Jeez.
and 31 for the Eagles. Leave it to Milena, the only one ever in the history of picking a score to put the winner's score second. So I love it. It's because she's European, and over there, have you ever seen the way they write dates? Okay. They put the day before the month. It's extremely annoying. And I guess that's just how they get it done there. Did you seriously correct the word Chiefs? As if nobody knew that you just miswrote it?
For the record.
You just put that for the record?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. John Tomashevis says, "Yeah, that was your greatest typo of your life. It got you a VAS sticker. I did. I made a emoji out of it because it was so funny."
KFC. The Chefs, KFC.
The Chefs. I guess they kind of are.
It looks like the KFC logo.
It does. And Andy Reid clearly is a sponsor. Or he clearly
He orders from the menu.
he orders for it. Yeah. So Milena thinks that the menu that Andy Reid's holding up is from KFC. So, okay, that works. Oh, here we go. Jalen added some more here. He says, not rooting for either team. I don't know what that next part says. But he's counting on Patrick to show his greatness, and he's not playing Brady. So, okay. John Thomas Chavez says, jack it off. Are we referencing the 2010 Karate Kid remake? I've never seen it, so no. Okay, so like I said, I really looked into oh, you want your pick to be right. Okay, gotcha. I've looked into the Eagles quite a bit, and they are built perfectly to defeat this type of team in the Chiefs. They're exactly the type of team that would beat them. And they are extremely well-rounded. We've been focused on Jalen Hurts quite a bit, but their defense is really, really good. And they have no problem. They would have no problem with doing exactly to Mahomes as the Bucs did. Okay? So one thing that I didn't even realize, and I wasn't even keeping up with, honestly, was that the Eagles have more sacks than any team in the league. They will be able to get to him. So is he going to be able to stay in the pocket and make those throws, or is he going to be able to run around and get away? Because we know that didn't really work for him against the Bucs. And I see something like that similar happening. Also, Mahomes has been extremely unimpressive in his 2 Super Bowls. And I think it has something to do with nerves and pressure. I think that he puts that pressure on himself like we've been talking about for hours. So I actually need to see Mahomes play decently at the very start. And then I would be like, okay, but we've not seen that yet. And I think that pressure is so much on him. He knows everyone's going to be trying to find a highlight and something to talk about. And at the same time, his counterpart in Jalen Hurts can make some flashy plays and can do that stuff. Okay? I mean, it's different in how he does it, but he can still do those things. And this is not a good matchup for the Chiefs. So I'll tell you this. If they win, and they win, without any funny business. And what I mean by funny business is the refs making ticky-tack calls for the Chiefs, but not giving any to the Eagles. So it needs to be balanced. Hopefully the refs will stay out of it and let the two teams battle it out. But I think that this game has all the makings of a blowout. And I don't think that the Chiefs were the best team in the AFC. I mean, I know they're in the Super Bowl, but as far as on a team-to-team basis, there's something wrong with this year. This year's been strange. And like I said, I never gave the Eagles the kind of attention that I should have given them, but I have this week, and I've seen. I wish I would have looked at this sooner, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. So, next year, if there's a team that's off to a hot start, a team that I don't necessarily pay attention to that much, and I'm going to take a really good look at them before I dismiss them. And I shouldn't have done that. But this Eagles team is incredible, actually. And I actually think that they're probably the best Eagles team that the Eagles have ever put in the Super Bowl. So the Eagles have been in, this will be the 4th Super Bowl that the Eagles have been in. I think this is the best team that they actually put in there. There's also something interesting regarding the coaches. So the coaches know each other, and the head coach of the Eagles, Nick Sirianni, he used to work for Andy Reid. So there could be some information, tendencies, things like that, that could help either coach. It just depends. So, and if that's the case, then it just comes down to players making plays and getting the job done. And I see a great potential for a blowout here. The Eagles can put points on the board like anybody, but they can also stop you from scoring. And they would have no problem with, if they freaking do it, there's no excuses. They can cause Mahomes' life to be a living hell. Mahomes is also, they're missing one of their best, I thought was one of their best players of the year as far as making important plays when you needed it. And again, what's the condition of Mahomes' ankle? So is he going to have to throw from the pocket exclusively? If he has to do that, I mean, this thing's really over. Okay. But probably, unless Patrick just blows us away, but I just don't see that happening. He's going to try to run around a lot. He's going to do what's comfortable. When you get into a game like the Super Bowl, you default to what you know. You default to the comfort zone. So he can go out there and start trying to pocket pass, but the moment that fails, or the moment that the Eagles are rushing even just 4, if they could get to him, they rush 5, they blitz, he's going to panic, and he's going to run and take off. And he's going to go back to that. But the Eagles secondary can certainly cover these guys. And again, it's all up to the refs if they call the game fair. And what I mean, you guys know what I'm referring to. I'm talking about Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is a tight end that has the advantage of size, height, all those things. He's got that advantage. But he's refereed as if he's a wide receiver, meaning you barely touch him, you barely do anything, there's a flag. So he's getting all the advantages of his size and strength and all that. But he's being treated like a wide receiver. So don't touch him. Don't get near him. Okay? So he's not treated like a tight end. But if he's reffed like a tight end, where you can get away with more, you can do a bit more to tight ends. Okay? And they let that happen. They certainly let it happen with Gronkowski. And you do that, it's going to be a long day for them, for the Chiefs, if it's just reffed properly. I don't think they have it. I just don't. It doesn't mean I think they suck. It's not about that. Okay. Football is about matchups. And I tell you this all the time. Tennis is the same way. For whatever reason, I mean, well, I know the reasons, but I'm not going to get into them. But Roger Federer had problems with Rafael Nadal's style. It just doesn't work. It's a bad matchup for Roger Federer. It doesn't make Federer bad or any less great. Okay? It's just how it is. There's just certain styles that don't fit for you, and it's a bad matchup. And I don't like this matchup for the Chiefs if you're rooting for the Chiefs. I just don't. It's not, I don't like it. I can't help it. I'm just being honest. I cannot see any other thing other than a domination by the Eagles. This is not wishful thinking, okay? And I don't mean I don't think that the Eagles are just going to dominate right off the bat, okay? I think in the end they'll have a comfortable margin. But I do think we'll have a pretty cool game. I think it could be fun. I think it could be, some crazy shit, going on. And in what form that is, I don't know what it will be. We're all just guessing, okay? Honestly. But I tell you what, this has the makings of a pretty interesting game if the refs stay out of it. So, but in the end, by the fourth quarter, around that time, maybe mid to fourth quarter, I think the Eagles will have a comfortable situation on their hands. And if they just don't take the foot off the gas pedal, if they don't change how they are, they should be fine. The Chiefs are not exactly the old team that we remember that could just bail out themselves, just launch it downfield and constantly, score a touchdown like that. Okay, they're not that anymore. I think that's lost with Tyreek. A lot of that was Tyreek Hill. So if you guys go back and watch a lot of Chiefs games, Chiefs playoff games back all the way to 2018, you'll see Tyreek Hill is the one that was getting open and making those things happen. And he's just not there. It's just not the same anymore. It's just not working. And the Eagles, like I said about their secondary, they're not going to give those up. I just don't think they will. So I'm going to say it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a good game until the Eagles get a comfortable lead at the very end. So I think the Chiefs defense is in trouble. I know they played better. I know they have a lot of sacks. In fact, I think they're second or third in sacks. But there are various reasons why a team would have the most sacks. And there's plenty of years where I can show you the team that's the sack leader is not even that good. There's various reasons for that. So what matters is it quality? It's like stats. Are those stats quality or are they empty calorie? Okay. And how they are accumulated. The Eagles just have too many things. They have too many. They just have great players everywhere. They're just everywhere. It's ridiculous. This is a great Eagles team. The score is going to be 46 to 31. We're going to have a hell of a time. But like I said, by the fourth quarter, it's going to be a large margin. So most of the game will be exciting and fun. But by the end, they'll start to get a distance. And then the Chiefs will score at the end a bit and make it look a little respectable. Okay? And that's how you'll get your final score. But it's going to be over about the fourth quarter, in my opinion. But the first three, I think, will be exciting and it'll be fun. It'll definitely be an interesting game. I know. I'm shocked. I can't believe it. But like I said, after I've looked at both teams all week here and really checking them out, it's just, man, it's something I feel. It's something that just doesn't. I can't picture anything else. But again, we're all just guessing. It really doesn't mean much other than just for fun. But that's kind of what I see happening. This is a rare score for me, a rare pick like this for something so important. I would normally, I don't give scores out like that. But again, like I said, this is purely based on things that I've looked at, and this is a terrible matchup for the Chiefs. If they can win this game straight up, you guys know what I'm talking about. If they can win this game, the Chiefs, I will be here giving them all of the credit in the world, of course. So damn. I mean,
unless the refs.
that's what I just said. If straight up,
If it's legit.
if they can win straight up, and no bullshit.
Yeah.
So. Maria, what's up, Maria? She says, I just want Jalen Hurts to be his best tomorrow and win. Otherwise, he will be just like a forgotten one-hit wonder. And that's a problem a lot of times. Quarterbacks will have a hot year, and then they just kind of go away. Jalen has been good this year. But the entire team just works well together. And it's a great time for him. If he can win this Super Bowl and they come back next year and just continue that, then he's got a great future ahead of him. But if they lose it, and then losing that Super Bowl that sets in for them next year, and they get off to a bad start, and that just starts to compound. And this can happen. We've seen it. We've seen Super Bowl losses completely destroy teams. We've actually seen Super Bowl victories destroy teams because they get cocky and they think that it's all going to be perfect, and they realize it's a lot different when you've got a target on your back. It's easy to get the first one. Not easy. It's easier to get the first one compared to the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and all that, okay, as you go on. That's when everyone knows what you're about and wants to destroy you. They want to destroy you in week 4, okay? They want to destroy you in week 17, week 18 by a team that's not even going to make the playoffs. Everybody wants you. Everybody wants to kill you. That's a different thing. The 2017 Eagles learned that the hard way, because after they won, they were talking about how they're going to be a dynasty and all this crap. So look at the Rams, who went all in for last year, and now it's, that it's time to start paying that loan back. And look at them now. So even in victory, you can have those problems. But I don't think the Eagles are that type of team to win and then have a fall off. I think they'll be able to continue. From what I've seen, it looks like they should be able to go back into next year if they win. Now, if they lose, who knows? Okay, that takes losing the Super Bowl and then coming back after that takes a extremely well-disciplined team, great mental, type team where you really can just block out all that shit and not dwell on it and just move forward. It's very rare to do that. But Super Bowl losses can destroy people. So Maria, you're right. If he doesn't win, they're at a big risk. If history is any indication, they're at a big risk of letting that bother them next year, and then Jalen kind of gets forgotten. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, bowl games in college. I don't know if that's relevant. It is maybe sometimes. Like if you see a guy who the moment doesn't bother them, but as far as with Hurts, he is not the key to the Eagles. Only he is not the guy. It's not. This isn't a situation where you take him off and everything falls. There's just he's playing well. He's playing great. But he doesn't have to be the reason they win. He doesn't have to be great to win. This Eagles team is well-rounded enough to be able to just, Jalen can be pretty good and he'll be fine. So. Although, if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and if you live in Philadelphia like Mr. Automotive, I hope you got good insurance on your car or something. So Mastermind's comment. I just want Chiefs fans and the Mahomes slurpage to eat shit. Yeah, with Mahomes, and that's the problem with losing this is if he wants to chase Brady, if he's trying to catch Brady, every time you lose, that's another one you have to get back to and win just to stay on pace. This is how ridiculous this is. So he already lost one to Brady. So that was the one you needed to get. You needed to get your second one back to back. You needed that one. And then he would need this third one with a year in between. So it'd be the same as what Brady did, after winning his first one, just in opposite directions. So he said you got two, then the break, and then the third one right now. But every time you lose one, you got to come back and make up for it. So you're not gaining ground. So if he loses this one again, he's got to come back, and now he's got to win two more just to get to three, just to get back on, to get it. And you're behind the pace already. And this is so stupid. I can't believe we're even talking about this. It's okay. But anyway, according to these idiots that think this is possible, I'm just saying, if you're doing it like that, then losing here makes it almost impossible. It's impossible anyway, but yeah. It just completely destroys it. Even winning tomorrow doesn't make much of a difference. This is all going to come crashing down soon. It's just how it works. Like we were talking about earlier about Aaron Rodgers. Everyone was saying this stuff after he won the Super Bowl, and then he won MVP, and blah, 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 and then all the crap started for him. He's going to win however many, okay? And at the time they had a good coach, and a coach that everyone thought was, a Hall of Fame coach probably eventually, whatever. And the same thing happened. And look, it all come crushing down, and they just couldn't. Even with Aaron Rodgers continuing to win MVPs, it just never worked. Something always happened. Aaron would get injured, or it'd be an MVP year, but they would not get it done in the playoffs. Something would always happen. Not only did Aaron not get another Super Bowl, he didn't even get back to the Super Bowl. So at least Patrick's got that going for him. He's getting there, okay? But to lose again, and he is going to lose again. So there are certain guys that are Super Bowl quarterbacks. There are certain guys when everything is on the line like that, everyone's watching, and I just don't think he has that gene. I don't think it's in him. I think that he's got a bit of Æron in him. He's got a bit of Peyton in him, where you're trying to force the issue so much that, it. And again, you can be off to the greatest start ever, and then it all just, okay. And that could be loss of Andy Reid. It could be players getting older, not being able to replenish those players and put great players back in, or those new players not getting the system. Whatever you want to come up with. There's so many things that could go wrong. Patrick could get injured, whatever. So it's just, it can all just, even with the win tomorrow, it can still all come crashing down really quickly. So that's why people need to just step back and let it happen. Let things happen. Just do this and go and go and go and go. And then one day, if somehow the dude's got like his 5th ring, okay, well, something's happening here. And not his 5th ring in year 25. I'm talking 5th ring within a reasonable time frame. So Mr. Automotive says, I got a funny feeling Mahomes is going to play with a vengeance. Just how he lost the last time he was in the Super Bowl was embarrassing. And see, that's what I think is going to happen, as far as him trying so hard to make everything happen himself, and the same result, a similar result. I mean, they'll get in the end zone though, I think. Obviously, I mean, by my score, but it just won't be enough. And I know that people, I obviously see that people are underestimating the Chiefs defense. They're better than what people think they are, but it's just not enough, because the Eagles offense is that much better. So it's not a good matchup. It's looking at it now, it's probably the worst situation that the Chiefs could have hoped for. I think the 49ers would have probably been better off with the 49ers, only because we know Kyle Shanahan seems to do some stupid shit when the game's on the line. So he seems to kind of like, something always goes wrong, something always happens. So he's got that thing there. And we wouldn't know how Brock Purdy would have performed in a Super Bowl. We just don't know. That's a guessing game. But I mean, he's only been playing a few games. He just started playing. Jalen has been in the league. He's played as the starter for a while now. So he's pretty much, you could probably have faith in him. But again, the players around him are excellent too. But I don't know. Something about this Eagles team seems very strange, and in a good way, like in a dominant way. I think they're gonna take it. So, and it's not just Patrick, by the way. Andy Reid is not exactly Mr. Clutch coach. Okay, he's a great for regular season, can even good in the playoffs at times, but I've seen a lot of Andy Reid failing. I've seen a lot of the moment being too big for him. I remember this when he was the coach of the Eagles, and they went to 5 straight NFC Championship games, and out of 5 straight NFC Championship games, only 1 Super Bowl appearance. And the clock management in that Super Bowl was horrendous. And whatever the reason, whether it was Donovan, whether it was a mixture of the coaching, communication, whatever you want to call it, that is not a well-prepared player and well-prepared team. And that seems to be Andy's weakness. What he's greatest at is scheming, game planning, all that, calling the right plays at the right time. He's great at it. It's amazing, actually. But there are other things to coaching than just that. There's your players being ready for anything, having a contingency plan, always being able to switch and become something else if something goes wrong. And the Chiefs seem to have trouble with that. The Chiefs are either in a situation where it's a good matchup for them or it's not. And there is no, and that's it. It's just, and they're going to lose or they're going to win, and based on that. And this is not a good matchup, which is why I made the pick I made. Bloody Pleb says, Mahomes stats tomorrow, 200 rushing yards behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, only 200 this time? He'll be slacking then. I can get 150 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and I've got a fractured hip. Yeah, Mr. A, that's what I'm saying, is that Donovan not being prepared, the moment being too big for him. That's, it's just like, really? I mean, choking seems to be something that is, well, I don't know. Let's just say this. Andy Reid's quarterbacks haven't always been the best at moments where it's the craziest, where it's all them, and it's been kind of up and down, so I've seen Andy Reid actually where the moment was too big for him, where you could see him panicking. You watch him panic in the 2018 AFC Championship game. I mean, you could just see it. It was happening. He was like, it was happening to him. He knew the end was coming, and he just stood there and just let it happen. He just gave in. He wasn't coaching anymore. He wasn't going at it. He wasn't in the moment and intense. He was just letting the rain fall, knowing that the end is near. And I've watched him just the moment be too big for him. And that's not good. That's not good for a coach like that. So, and the Eagles coach, Sirianni, he seems to have some kind of weird confidence. And is it fake confidence? Is it like this trying to convince everybody that you're in control and you got your shit together? Or is it real? Is it something that is legit? We're going to find that out tomorrow, aren't we? Yes, Luke. Yeah, Andy Reid is 0-4 against Tom Brady in the playoffs. Yeah. He lost the Super Bowl in 2004 to the Patriots. Of course, he was the Eagles quarterback, so they never met again until he was in Kansas City. Eagles coach, not quarterback, sorry. So, divisional 2015. Yeah, 2015. I'm trying to remember without looking, because 2018, the AFC Championship game, that's 3. And then, of course, the Super Bowl in 2020. So, yeah. So it's safe to say when it matters, Brady owns Andy Reid's ass, So, but again, when you're a head coach that is an offensive coach and that's your thing, your defense usually lacks, because you pay attention just to the offense, and that's what your bread and butter is. And then the defense kind of it's okay, and it benefits. Like, a defense will usually benefit from a good offense in general if you've got a competent quarterback that knows what he's doing. But that can only get you so far. You also need good players on defense as well, guys who know what they're doing. And for Andy, that seemed to be a problem. So there's always been an imbalance between his offense and defense, usually. So And that's just natural, and that's what happens. It usually works the other way around a bit better. If you can be a defensive coach, head coach, but you've got a great quarterback, that's usually the better combo. Oh, you can definitely fake confidence. It's all in how the outside sees you. So you can be a scared little girl and go around, oh yeah, let's go, and blah blah blah, but you're actually panicking, in here, and it's just so you're overcompensating, you're overdoing it, trying to look like everything's okay. And Sirianni seems to have. I'm a little suspicious because of how he is sometimes. It's like sometimes a little too much. And I don't know if that's coming from a real place, like he really is that way, like on the inside, he really is this person, or is it fake? And in real life, he's going to freaking like crumble and panic when everything's on the line. And that's what I'm interested to see tomorrow. So I'm actually really excited about this. We're having a Super Bowl party here. So, of course, tomorrow there will be a post Super Bowl post game. So don't forget about that. And Terrence Howell. Terrence Howell says, "Yeah, that is what people don't understand. What happened with Brady and Belichick literally was the perfect combo. Brady allowed Bill to be the best version of what he could be as a coach." Josh Montez says, "I believe Mac Jones will play really good next year. I don't know, just a feeling. And, well, he better, because now Bill O'Brien is there. So, I mean, I can forgive him for the shit show that was this year with the offensive coordinators, or the offensive coordinators, acting offensive coordinators, and Joe Judge and fat ass Matt Patricia. So, but yeah. All right, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have fun. Have a fun Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you guys are doing some cool stuff for tomorrow. And thank you for being here. Is that it? Am I missing anything? I think that's all. I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about tonight. Yeah, that's it. And as always, I'll leave the chat open for a few minutes. If you guys want to close up any conversations you're having, I'll be in the chat too if you want to continue any conversations for a few minutes, okay? So see you guys tomorrow. So
Hi, this is tennis player Mariana Dragic, and you're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest sports analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
VonAllen Sports.